And may the Schwartz be with you. Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz.
Get in there! Get in there!
Never underestimate the power of the Schwartz.
Sir, do we get to win this time?
Oh, get out of here. You've run out of mashed potato. Just loopy. Just loopy. Hey, Ditzy. Great job.
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Get in there!
Hey, yo. What's up, everybody? It's Jez7780. What grinds my gears for another episode. Episode 20 of the gaming Grindhouse. Oh, yeah. Who's that? What?
Enough from me. We're gonna have the games do our talking.
Oh, man. Sweet music to my ears. What's up, everybody? The sirens start the show. That's calling to Frog, because Frog said he'll be here, but he's coming. The Grindhouse door is open. The Grindhouse, the conveyor belt came down. The party's open. The Grindhouse, we're here. So, welcome. Episode 20 is going to be solo, so for now, Frog will be jumping on in a little bit. But just wanted to start the show. Can't keep the grinders waiting. They'll knock down the door, come crashing in here. They want the news. They want the opinions of Mr. Grinds and panel of whoever comes into the Grindhouse. Shout out to everybody. Last week's show, friggin' incredible. J-Dub City, the J-Dub came by. Who knows? I don't know where he is tonight. Maybe you come by again. But, man, he came by last week, and we just spit back and forth, man. Awesome conversation. And that video got over 1,000 views. I think it's at 1.1, which is absolutely, I think it's the highest watched gaming Grindhouse so far. So shout out, thanks J-Dubs, and shout out to you guys and girls out there, the grinders, the people who started it all. Because again, if it wasn't I was talking to anybody out there, you guys built this house. And I want to thank you again. And we're on our way. We're building the addendum. I got the pool. We're ready, man. We're going to be in the pool rubbing nipples for E3 by that time. We're going to hit that 1,000. But I want to thank you, everybody, man. Awesome. Thank you again. We'll roadhouse your ass. Exactly. See, you guys don't take any bullshit. That's why you come here. This is straight talk, whatever it is. You know, we go through the internet, we go through the shit, and we just, just go through it. And what's on minds, and, grinders. Hey, man. Hey, what's up, J Cat? Let me shout out to everybody that came in here before we get into the Grindsboard for this evening. Buck Roger was in here with the burger and the coffee. Oh, crap. And then Nick came in here spitting. He just wanted, he was venting about Biomutant, which, oh, man, we'll talk about Biomutant. Oh, goddamn. Don't open your mouth. You might get a fist. Nick came in here swinging and spitting. And then Dylan Rafferty said, oh, shit, what did he walk into? And then we had Mog come in here go, oh, shit, it's hot as hell in here. And then we had Buck Roger, Nick still saying cheers. What's up, Nick? How you doing? Everybody be wildin'. Socrates, what's up? How you doing? Skills. Who's this? Wolf. Who's that? Wolf Mustang. Yo, yo, yo. What's up? Howdy, howdy. How you doing? Jamal King, what's up? How you guys doing? The Coup 1985. Yes, we all live. Shout out to the Coup 1985. He was checking out the first thing that we were doing, man. We'll rock them back 80s action movies, man. We'll talk about that. That's one of the topics. Man, that Call of Duty brought back some memories, man. That's some good music, and it was fun. The Coon was over there watching that stuff. And Nick had the sirens. He liked those sirens coming up there. Ma, let's go. What's up? How you doing? Ice Queen Gaming. How you doing? How's everybody doing out there? Damn, Nick is wild. Nick came in here swinging, man. He won a Roadhouse. He wanted to stop fighting about Biomutant at 4K 60. Everybody would go wilding over that shit. We'll talk about that. Neil, what's up? How you doing, man? How's everybody doing out there? So, yes, share out the video. Hit that like button. We're going to go in tonight, man. It's almost coming up to a holiday weekend over here in the America. Memorial Day weekend. That's barbecue weekend coming up next weekend. So, maybe there'll not be a gaming grindhouse on Memorial Day. We'll see. I'll see where I am. I don't know. If not, maybe I'll do it on the Tuesday or do a Grinds My Gears later in the week. We'll see how that works. But for now, we're all here. And that's it. We're here. How's the sound? Mic check, mic check. One thing I'm going to have to adjust here, and I didn't get a chance to do it yet, is that the music for my Grindsboard, they're coming after me. They're copyrighted. Philness came after me. He's like, shut that shit down. Get it out. And then, so I can't play that music. They keep hitting me with the copyright bullshit. So I'm going to have to change the music for that thing. So you might see it today, but you're going to hear it without music. So think about your favorite friendly tune while that thing is playing. And, yes. So just to get into quick about what I've been playing, since I'm the only one here at the Grindhouse, but we got everybody out here, the grinders and everything, and I'll be on the chat. So, what I've been playing? I've been playing Resident Evil. I'm telling you, man, that Resident Evil 8. I'm really enjoying it because I love 7, but I have to say, I got too much ammo. Too much ammo. I'm just shooting fools. I'm running through the thing. Like, I'm running too fast. That's the thing for me. I'm liking it a lot, but I feel like it's more action-packed movie than like, a scary-ass game. Like, I was more creeped out in Returnal, especially in the first biome, than I was in Resident Evil. Yeah, there's a couple of scary things here and there, but I'm just not scared yet. And I know what's coming. Again, put the dollhouse in there, you sons of bitches. I know the dollhouse is coming. Maybe that will thrust my tail. So I'll wait till I get to the dollhouse, because that's some scary ass shit I hear. I'll wait. But dude, I'm running around. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if I'm getting too old, or maybe because I'm playing on a 110-inch projector screen at 4K and 60 frames. And my whole goddamn wall is Resident Evil 8. Now, you see them on my Twitters. But I'm running around like a lunatic in those doors, smashing the doors. I got friggin' nauseous. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, a little dizzy. And then that witch is running around there scaring the shit out of me in the hallway. But I can dodge her ass. I go dip dodge and all that stuff. What's up, Chris Rightious? Yo, what's up, man? Yo, I do it a little later, man. If you want to jump on, no problem, man. You know where to come. But, yeah, so, like, I'm just a little, like, I'm a little nauseous, so I had to turn it off. So I was just, I don't know what the hell it was. I just feel like that I'm not kind of creeping around a little bit. Like, I was playing, like really, like, spooking around like I did in 7. Like, I feel like I'm just blasting down doors. I'm, like, elbowing them, like, running around like Battlefield. in them. So we'll see. See, Glorious. Yo, what's up, Glorious? How you doing? It does that? Okay. Nick says it does do that. What did Nick say? It does. Like, I just feel like the camera is too tight, Nick. So Nick, I don't know if you're old, but I'm old. I felt like I was getting an old man. I was like, whoa, I got a little like dizzy. I was like, whoa, I feel nauseous. And again, it's because probably I got the whole friggin' wall as my screen. So what I did was I made the projector a little small. I made the video a little small because I was like, maybe it's just too much for the screen. But oh, no problem, Chris. Definitely, I'll do that Final Fantasy talk. That's on the Grindsboard. We got that. But yeah, like it's just a little bit like I was just running around. Oh, Dishonored, yeah, Mog. See, Dishonored gave him some motion sickness, real bad. Yeah, man, it's just some weird, like some of the games. But I felt that. But again, maybe because I was running around too much, because I just want to just, I want to creep around that game. Like I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you really like where they went with Resident Evil? So far, I'm about 8 hours in. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm like, the witches are chasing me around the house, okay? I just don't, they're too, they're not scary. Like, I don't care. Like, they don't freak me out. Like, I think the guys in the basement are more like, yo, don't touch me with that stuff. But the girls, I'm just like, ooh, I think they're too sexualized. I just think they're too, it's too, they're not, I don't know. I knew everybody was going simping over them and stuff like that, before. But I just think that it's a little, I don't know. Not saying the game's bad. I really like it. I like the whole, Van Helsing type thing with the whole, werewolves, lichens, and stuff like that. Like Underworld-esque. I'd rather play Underworld, actually. And that's the problem. I'm playing this thing, and I'm like, oh, where's Kate Beckinsale? Let's go. Third person, Kate Beckinsale. I'm ready to go. Underworld the game. But I do like it. I just not, the scary factor right now hasn't hit me yet. And I just feel like I have 80 bullets in a pistol, and I'm just upgrading my gun. I know what else too. I have so much money. It just doesn't feel like the Resident Evil. I feel like I got too much. I'm cashing in these stones and stuff. I don't know. I meant to ask you guys, for the, when you get the witches and stuff, you get their crystal. Am I supposed to save that, or do I cash it in for $6,000 so I could upgrade? I'm assuming I cash it in because it just says valuable item, and I just feel like I have so much freaking money. I'm just upgrading my gun. Maybe because I'm on normal, and maybe if I had played on hardcore, then it'll give me less resources. But I felt much more tension in 7 so far than I'm feeling in 8, and I think that's where it is. It's the tension. I love it though. I love horror games. I'm playing it. Kate Beckinsale's not in it, but I'll be playing it. And keep your meat, it says. Oh, shit. Is that a strategy, or is that a term? Sell it. Sell it all, everybody says. So keep the meat and sell it. All right. So I'll sell all that crystal shit. Because I feel like it's so much money. It's 6,000, 7,000, whatever the hell they are. And that fat bastard is there trying to get me to buy shit. And he's like, I got some new items. I'm like, your fat ass didn't go anywhere. How the hell did you get new items? What, you got fucking Amazon? Holy shit. You guys just trying to sell me shit. Ryan, oh shit, oh man. He said his wife took him to court. That was scary. Oh shit. That's not a simulator I want to play. Oh damn.
Get in there!
Damn, I gotta stop this. Gordon Ramsay going wild here. So anyway, I'm playing that. Also, I played into Returnal. I went back into Returnal, man. I got to the 3rd biome boss. Let me tell you something about Returnal. Before I get to the Grindsboard, let me tell you something about Returnal. Shout out to Kid Smooth. He's doing the stream. Dude, funny as hell. Go watch it. Don't listen to his recommendation because, hey, that's his opinion. But I'm going to tell you the charm in Returnal. This I'm going to tell you. Because I'm learning it now in Biome 3. So in Biome 3, shit gets wild. Robots come at you. It's Terminator Judgment Day times 2. The things I hate the most are those goddamn air turret things that either dive bomb you when they're about to get killed, or they shoot a slew of rockets up your ass and you just kills like half your health away. But let me tell you the charm of Returnal. Even though the procedurally generated map, when you go to a biome, they have specific layouts that are kind of like mental notes that you kind of know where your goal is. Because when you first get to a biome, you don't know how far that shit's going. You don't know where it's going to take you. All right? You don't know, like, is this the boss? Is this, do I have to climb this tower? Do I have to get there? But as you go and you kind of run through it, like do a run, exactly what the...
Whatever your name is,
get
ready for the big surprise.
Oh, new subscriber, what's up? It works! Mark at Brooklyn, New York. Oh yeah, my hometown. What's up? Welcome, new subscriber. Holy shit, that scared the hell out of me. Mark from Brooklyn, you scared the living shit out of me, but you're getting the siren, baby. Holy crap, you scared the shit out of me. Yarnell just yelled in my friggin' ear. Damn, Mark from Brooklyn, New York. What's up? That's awesome. Thank you for the subscription. It works. It works.
Who are you?
Scared the hell out of me. I was like, what the hell? Yo, it works. Thank you. The widgets work. So the subscribe button works. So if you're new here again, thank you, Mark, for reminding everybody. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And oh shit, I heard somebody. Oh shit, somebody came in the Grindhouse. I heard him.
No, it's Frogs.
Frogs, what's up, yo? What's up? How you doing?
What's up?
Dude, this scared the shit out of me. I heard Arnold like yell in my ears, like, whatever your name is, get ready for the big surprise. And I was like, holy shit. And Mark from Brooklyn subscribed. Dude, so I'm talking about this Returnal thing. So I'm talking about the breakdown here. So now let me ask you, Frog, did you finish Biome 3 yet? Did you beat Biome 3?
At the end of let me see.
Did you beat the boss?
I'm on Biome 3. I'm on
okay, because I
almost beat it.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I'm at the boss. I got to the boss last night, and I'm gonna say something. Yeah. So, like, what I'm saying, so what the game is that when you get into the biome, you don't know how far it's gonna go. Like, you feel like sometimes it's never ending. You're like, dude, is this the door? Is this the door? So I got to a point, and I remember when I was streaming it with you and you were watching. I was doing the share play. We'll talk about features, but yes. I went to that room where that friggin' Terminator guy whipped me, and I actually shared it on Twitter, right? I shared the thing on Twitter. Yes, yo, what's up? Games for Eternity. How you doing? Now, when I was streaming it, that door locked, and I had to fight everybody to get through the door. Well, when I did it this time, same room, same setup, same enemies, but the door was open, and I ran through it.
Yeah. Yes, it's different.
Yes, so I got through it, and then there was the tower there, and I was able to activate the tower, and then I beamed down to the bottom of it, and then I ran across the bridge, right? So then when I get through the bridge, then it gets me to this room where I'm climbing a tower and it's a bunch of lasers, all different random laser stuff. And that's where I got killed at the top of that. So I'm right there.
At the top of the tower, right?
Yeah, right there. But like the thing is that now when I did my run, I know what to look for and I know where I am. So if I don't want to fight, I could do my fight or flight. So if I'm like fighting, I could be like, well, oh no, this is the one. I just need to get to this kind of friend, and similar to Biome 2, where you don't know what you're gonna get, but once you get to that tower, you're in the tower, you kind of know that's kind of a checkpoint where now you made it to the tower, so you got out of the desert, you're in the tower, and now it's kind of random stuff going up the tower, and it wasn't that long. Like you get, but when you first get in there, you're like, when is this gonna end? So you just learn, and it's pattern recognition, and it's like. It's so awesome because people think, and it's funny because I was saying this because I heard Smooth saying it's a waste of time. And, I want to, for some people, maybe it is. But the thing is that you don't, yes, you might lose your progress per se if you're looking at it from a save state. Yo, what's up, Gruda Legends? But the thing is what you are gaining is knowledge.
Right. And that's what the game is really, it really has you doing in a lot of ways. If you read.
Read.
You have to read the things you pick up before you pick them up.
Risk and reward,
and you have to and I honestly would agree with you. You gain knowledge of how to, if you die, how to go back into that next biome.
Yes,
and really kind of attack it. Even though the rooms may change up, you're basically gaining knowledge of okay, well these and this because I've learned with going through the first two biomes, like different enemies do different things and they act a different way. It's not like they totally change their patterns, but you kind of learn. And I think it's the same with every biome. I'm pretty sure once I get past biome 3 that, biome 4 will be excuse me. Ooh, it's belch. It'll be similar. And from what I've heard, biome 3 is the hardest biome.
Yeah,
they say
and that boss fight's
biome
crazy.
3, yeah,
it was pretty wild.
Oh, man,
It's like platforming and all the other stuff. Yeah,
it's crazy.
There's some crazy stuff going on.
Everybody says once you get past biome 3, the game actually it's not as hard. Biome 3, just for some reason, it's very hard.
Yeah,
and
there's a lot of platforming.
I'm looking forward.
Yeah,
and I think that can probably hurt, because if you're not used to platforming, that can be hard, because you got to grapple hook from platform to platform,
and that's what you're using. Like, it's really a master of the grapple hook, because I've seen people use it.
It's something. It's like, okay, you got this now. Use it and master it and learn how to master.
Yes.
And you'll probably get to the next biome and get something you can master. I kind of like games like that Metroidvania kind of feel to it. Like, here's a new here's a new item. You didn't know how to get past XYZ, but now we've given you this item, so now you can move faster. Because once you get that grapple hook, I think the game to me picks up. It's kind of like I feel a lot stronger with the grapple hook. I'm like, oh, there's places I can get, like, even if I die, I don't feel. When I got to biome 3, I was like, I didn't feel bad if I died, because I was like, hey, I can just grapple hook my way, go back to biome 3 and skip biome 2. And so it didn't make me feel as bad, like you can completely skip that. And you really, when you go back to biome 1 anyway, there's a lot of glyphs you cannot get unless you have the grapple hook.
Yes,
and if you're
it
one
helps
of those people,
you.
like, I'm trying to find some of those, those glyphs and all that. So it's actually important, and I'm kind of feeling this. I've heard good things about what's the other game that they say is kind of like this Hades. I heard Hades was and so I'm looking forward to that. Apparently it's supposed to be coming to PlayStation, and if it never does, it's on Switch, so I can eventually buy it. But I've heard good things, so I'm interested. This is something that is different. I'm a fan of I would say House Marquee games. I won't say maybe this kind of game, but I think House Marquee makes pretty decent games.
Like, this is and we kind of allude to this every kind of week. It's like for a studio like Housemarque to take what their pedigree has been of these kind of like arcadey classic shooters and things like that, and kind of take it to this next level where they have a narrative. They have a story. They have a story. They have this kind of like a more of a AAA look to it, AAA budget, and things like that, and take the tropes that they used to do with the fractals and the procedurally generated stuff, and kind of turn it into from a new IP for it to get reviewed as it has, and for it have to accept. Like, again, I don't know if it's going to blow the doors off on sales. Like, I don't think it's gonna be no Miles Morales or anything like that. But I do think as this game stays there, it is a good feather in the cap for Sony and for Housemarque that maybe they take the next one and just keep going on from there and grow it from there. And now they have a franchise if people would want that, because they're going to trickle this down. That it's going to be on sale. I bet you stay by it.
I didn't mean to cut you off. One thing I will say is, like, I think that games like let's just say we don't get a Returnal Part 2, right? Which I don't think we're going to get one, right? I think that Housemarque is the kind of studio that will, whatever is next, they're going to create something completely different. I think this is kind of like, hey, we got this out the way, now let's go create something different, and hopefully whatever they create is bigger and better.
Yeah.
But I think what's good about this is it's a new, not only is it a new IP, it's establishing a new genre of games, so maybe more developers will pick this kind of.
Oh, they're gonna copy some of the stuff, definitely.
And that's not always a bad thing.
No.
Look what Souls did when you had the Demon Souls, and then the Dark Souls, and the Dark Souls 2, and the Bloodborne, and Dark Souls. People just started making Souls kind of games, and then you got some good Souls kind of clones. Some of them weren't the best, but the fact of the matter is, people were like, hey, people like these Souls-like games. Let's see if we can make one. And, you had Ashen come out.
Yep, and there were all different types. There was, like, robots, and there was
I think there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
I think that what that does is you start to
Look what they do with
create
Battle
new
Royale,
gen-
Frog.
yeah, you start to create new genres of games. Same with Battle Royale. Yeah, you start to create these new genre of games. It's a good thing for the industry because it gives the industry, hey, we got these ideals, and maybe somebody can have a fresh take on a Souls or
Yeah.
type game or something. And I think that's good because look, platformers have existed since the beginning of time, and it took Nintendo to make Mario 64 to really change the platformer. And then people were like, yo, they made some 3D kind of and then 3D games blew up. Nintendo really changed the playing field on 3D games. And then everybody was like, hey, we can do it too.
Exactly.
So we need this. The gaming industry needs games like this, And I know we're gonna probably, hopefully we'll talk about Biomutant.
Oh yeah. I'm actually bringing it up. Yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that. But the last point I'll make before I get to the Grindsboard is that the thing that I really like about, and this is something for me that I always like the term procedurally generated or randomized because I think of infinite replayability. And the one thing that I have to say is that the way they did Returnal, the way it works, for me, it is like a fresh experience. Not super fresh, but enough to let me continue to want to move ahead. Like, after you die, I'm not going like, yeah, you're bummed out, but like all of a sudden you just you just move the stick again and you just jump and you go through that first door and it's just like something different. You're like, oh, and you just wind up going back. And that's what's happening to me, where I'm just like, nah, damn, I got to the boss. You go through that front door and there's the hook. It's like, here's the taste. I'm like, oh shit, like,
Yes, that's why when Kids Move took this challenge, my whole thing, shout out to Kids Move.
It's some fun stuff, man. I love when he does these
it's
things.
funny, but what I really think is I really think he could do this challenge if he just kind of, I listened to Weapon Wheel last year. If he kind of, took BG and Jack Moves Advice, if he just read, he would.
He did read the second night. He did read the second night. Yeah.
But what I'm saying, if he had took his time the first time, that 5 hours wouldn't be in vain, and he would have really kind of.
You're right. He could have beat that first boss.
Here's my whole thing about like that challenge. If he just kind of sat back and he just watched just some of his friends that play the game, their experiences, I think he could have really just ran through this. But I think.
Oh yeah, but I don't think he did. Yeah, and I don't think he was supposed to. But
he didn't. He had no interest, and he said he had no interest. The only reason he's doing this is because
it's a challenge. And if you go in there with like. Yeah, if you go in there where you don't care for this game, like that stuff is definitely frustrating.
It's probably
I could definitely see that
for him. But I this is something I definitely, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to beat this game. I think I've seen some people who aren't big fans of these type of games beat it. So I think that I really.
I hope they add more stuff to it. I want another biome, even though I'm on third biome. But if they add more biomes to it,
here's what I think they'll do. I think they could add a multiplayer element to it.
Did you do it yet? Did you find the body?
Yes,
I did one yesterday. First off, I had like a tyrant one, which that boss is crazy. I go like a sick one. I follow the thing and she like mutates. What happened?
The coon, because he said Smooth took the challenge because he's that good. Okay, you think so? Yeah. Look, he's not that great at games, man.
Dude. Well, he did beat the boss, but he did spend a lot of time. He did finish the first boss. He's going to Biome 2 now. But the thing is, too,
look, Call of Duty is not the hardest game in the world, and I've played with Smooth, and wow, he's not that good.
Shit, bro.
He could be better if he just calm down and
Relax.
It's the raging, man.
You've been erased.
I want to see that. I personally don't.
Who is your daddy?
Me, I think it's good for streaming.
It is good for streaming because of the surprise.
I'm wasting people, and I'm like, look, this game is not super hard. I think Call of Duty is probably the most pick up and play friendly game. You're just having fun. I mean, me and Jed, we played the other night.
That's the topic. Everybody. So we're going to drop this Returnal one, and we're going to go to 80s action-packed monkey movies. Action-packed movie.
I think, dude, what they did.
We're going to it. I'm going to hit my transition thing. So here we go. Where's my Grindsboard? To the Grindsboard. Let's see what's on the Grindsboard today. Let me turn off my display, goddamn. And now let's go to the Grindsboard. All right. So, yeah, there was no audio there. We'll fix the audio on that thing. But we are going to do the Grindsboard. So let me get this thing up here. So, yes, the first topic we got on here, Frog jumping right into the Grindsboard. The first topic is action-packed 80s movies. Yo, we had a friggin' blast. And, yo, I'm showing this here because this was friggin' hilarious. Man. First off, I'm going to just say something.
Such a good time.
First off, if you play Call of Duty with Frogs definitely, he has a military background. And when I play with Frogs, I think shit's going to be coming through my window the way he's like, watch out, they're coming. I think a SWAT team is going to come swinging in my fucking window and fucking take me away. Frog scares the shit out of me. He's so intense. But you know what? It elevates me to do better because Frog is looking at me. He's making sure that I can manage the gun and do it. But man, it's really a war, man. But it was so much fun with the 80s theme. And I can't play the music. So first off, what Call of Duty did, so what did they do? They added Rambo and
John McClane.
Yippee-ki-yay, bitch.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother sucker.
Oh damn,
man.
Dude, they added John McClane.
That's some of the dopest thing. That is so. Oh, look at me. Look at Frog.
Oh, dude, man, Frog the highlight reel.
I had such. Dude, you know what makes it good, man? Like, my son gets on there. My son is in the military. And, we're real competitive.
See, man, I told you. It's intense.
My son gets on there, and we go back and forth because, when he grew up, he was like, okay, Dad was in the Call of Duty, so and my son, I'm a beast, but my son I ain't gonna lie, he can beast. He can go ham. And so we're just going back. We're talking crap to each other as we're destroying the other team. I'm like, I'm gonna get in the top.
Dude, we won every friggin' game as Rambo. We only lost one game by 1 point. That was that stupid ass map. Where is it?
And you know what's crazy? Yeah, what's crazy is the one game we lost by 1 point.
This one
was just like, it was just a bad map.
Yes.
But every game we won by a significant margin. It's like these guys did not know what they were. Either they were new
mullets.
They didn't know what they were doing.
They needed mullets, dude. They had the mullets.
Mullets. Dude. I'm in love with this.
This is the mode we're playing right here. So it's called Die Hard Point, right?
Yes.
So this is the mode they added with the two introductions of Rambo and John McClane. And when you shoot somebody, they blow up. And then you get cranked. So if you see the thing on the side, you get cranked. So if you don't kill people, you blow up. I just blew up right there. And you get
I'm yelling, I'm crying.
I'm crying. And I'm gonna say the reason why we probably lost this match is because I saw a challenge where it says capture points under smoke. So I equipped smoke grenades. And everybody on my team, Frogs and his son, was screaming, "Who's throwing all the smoke? I can't see shit." I was trying to get my points to get XP. And meanwhile, it didn't work because for some reason it didn't register any of that shit.
Oh my God. That's so funny. We didn't even
Look at all the smoke. You can see when you're watching the gameplay. Dude, I can throw smoke all over me.
He got my stomach hurting. Dude, we're sitting there, we're like, who the fuck is throwing this smoke?
I had to unequip it. They're like, do the flashbangs. Because I just put so much smoke. I was throwing.
Because look, if I had known, I would have had a thermal scope in my weapons. I was like, I can't see shit. And then like the rest of the team was like, yo, I can't see anything.
I know, man. I was trying to get the points. It said capture.
Jensen's just being quiet. He's like, oh shit.
And I equipped my guy with the double like tactical. So I had 2 smoke grenades. So I was like,
I'm gonna tell you, I haven't had that much fun.
It was fun
since my Black Ops 2 days.
Dude,
man.
it was fun.
I just had so much fun. It was just.
And then they play 80s music, right? At the end or the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, both.
Yeah, at the end, at the beginning, and end. You know what made this game mode so much fun? And I hope they keep it in there.
Well, I hope it says 10 days, right? 7 days. They better not take a shit away.
And that's the problem. A lot of people are active. A lot of people are Activision do not let this game mode leave. The reason they're asking is because this is straight run and gun, objective gameplay. You can't camp. It's about whoever is more accurate. That's why a lot of people are like, yo, this is what Call of Duty used to be about.
Yeah, man.
Gun, getting it, and I just love it. I think one match I had 60. My son had 66 and 13 kills. And I was like, how'd you get that many kills? And he's like, I got more than you, but he came in second.
Dude.
And I came in first. I was like, well, I got more points than you. But it was just
It was just fun, man.
Like, yo,
it was no
I hadn't had
camping.
this
It was
much
just fun and shit.
No, everybody's running and gunning. And it just, we actually sat there and we were like, ooh, John McClane and Rambo. And then we started thinking about like other 80s characters. We're like, hey, they can put like, freaking Commando.
Chuck Norris. Who said it? Somebody said
Norris.
Chuck Norris. It said, the Coon 18.5 said put Chuck Norris. Shout out to the Coon, man. He watched the whole stream, man. We were jamming about 80s things, man. It was so much fun.
So fun.
Dude, Buddy Cactus says, Jez was throwing more smoke than Philness at XO Mexico.
Man, we didn't know that whole.
Look at all the fucking. No, I'm watching the replay. I see all the smoke. I feel bad, man. I feel bad.
I'm watching it now, and look, you didn't say anything. And like the whole game, we're like, who I can't see shit. And then we're just like running to the hard point. We're getting jacked up with the smoke because we couldn't see crap.
And know what the worst thing was? Is that I looked at the friggin' XP thing and it said 0 out of 10 captured points. I'm like, it didn't work at all. And I threw all this goddamn smoke. Look at all the smoke.
I didn't even pick it up when you were like, hey, what should I use? Should I use flashbangs? And we're like, yeah, use flashbangs. I didn't pick it up that you the one throws.
Yeah, dude.
Funny,
I was throwing double smoke trying to capture the points.
Because I was like, man,
I had double XP activated.
Oh, so you're
Mog says Steven Seagal, man. Steven Seagal wouldn't need a gun. He'll just be walking around snapping necks. He'll do melees.
Exactly.
He'll just do like
somebody said Johnny Lawrence.
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson. Hey, that's a good one.
Yo, that'll be good. You have the Magnum, right? From Death Wish.
The Highlander.
Oh, that's a good one. Dude, Raven, was it the Raven? Yeah, Highlander. Yo, now I want Universal. No, what I was saying, Linda? I was saying after playing this, I was like, they should just make the Expendables the game. Just put Expendables expansion in Call of Duty. Dude,
that's all they should
just do it. There's Rambo blowing up.
And you know what made it so funny is like it was so funny because every time somebody killed him, like I got a Rambo on me, he's trying to kill me.
Yeah, kill Rambo. And then every time I saw John McClane, so John McClane doesn't have his shoes on, just like from the movie.
Yes,
so I'm just like,
hilarious.
Shoot the glass.
Oh, and then
Joe Rogan.
He gets that. What's his special? He gets he pulls out a freaking M60. He's shooting everybody.
He has the M60.
I think they did a real good job with this DLC. I'm kind of a little disappointed because you have to pay so much for it.
Dude, Buddy Cactus says the A-Team.
Oh, that'd be a
Face.
Great one.
And they'll have friggin' Mr. T. Face. Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
Yo, they nuked us. Look at the nuke. I got the nuke. They nuked us.
It's so different than Fortnite, and I think this is something that
Hulk Hogan and Zeus.
They could pull it off, quicker if they can think about it and say they can pull it off quicker because kind of if you really look at what's going on, it's kind of like Fortnite is doing.
Fortnite's doing an incredible job.
Fortnite's doing an incredible.
It's almost like a Smash Brother pop. Yeah, they just put all the my son just bought the basketball thing for the playoffs, dude.
Yes, and I kind of like the fact that Call of Duty's. I mean, look, Activision has money. They have money.
Yeah,
they can go.
This is fun, dude. This is what gets me into it. I like it.
When that '80s music start playing,
Backstreet Boys. What?
This is having a good time.
They dance on you. It was
Yeah,
so much
I mean,
fun.
shoot.
And like, when's the last time like John McClane Die Hard? They never put him in. There's never been a game. I'm sure there's a Die Hard game on the NES.
I think on Call of Duty Ghosts, the very first Call of Duty for PS4, they put if I'm not mistaken, they put was it Michael Myers in there?
Oh, that was cool. Yeah, when they did that stuff.
He had to run around. They put some other people in there, but I just think like the '80s, like the
music,
game, especially this era, the music, everything.
They have like it's like the fight. Like I don't know what the hell they're singing. Like what the hell's the song at the end when you win?
It's like some I don't know.
I was just yelling, "Never surrender."
Yeah, it's just some old '80s rock.
It's some '80s rock, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
This is pretty cool.
They did a great job with it.
Beetlejuice.
I want Beetlejuice.
Somebody said the Backstreet Boys.
Susan Sarandon. What?
Yeah, hey. Somebody said the Backstreet Boys were more 90s. They weren't really 80s. They were 90s.
No, we did that. You mean the New Kids on the Block?
Yeah, New Kids on the Block. Yeah, well, New Kids on the Block was kind of.
That's 80s.
New Kids on the Block was 80s. That was 80s.
That was 80s.
Backstreet Boys and NSYNC were 90s.
But how do we go from? Wait a second. How do we go from Arnold Schwarzenegger, John McClane to the Backstreet Boys? the hell's going on, Grinders? What the hell are we
Somebody-
talking about?
somebody is no-
There's a freaking people blowing heads off. What do you mean the Backstreet Boys?
Somebody that doesn't know their century, or their
White
decade, I should
Snake.
say, not century, decade.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Well, Aerosmith's more 90s, right? They weren't 80s.
Susan Sarandon. Somebody said
Nah.
Hulk.
Hulk.
Beetlejuice.
Dude, yeah, because the 80s was like, that was all like Van Halen. You had
Yes.
Survivor. Oh, yeah, I love Rebel Sun. That's my favorite song. I love that. Survivor. All the Rocky
Guns N'
montage
Roses.
shits. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Guns N' Roses,
Guns N'
all
Roses.
that shit.
Oh yeah, White Snake.
White Snake, all
somebody
those
say,
rock
yeah.
ballads.
Yeah, all the dude. That was the era, man.
I love that music, man. Rock of Ages, the soundtrack, I love that stuff. I love that.
If you weren't in the
80s rock.
80s, you were either listening to rock or you were listening to Michael Jackson.
I listen to all of it, but I love that
Yeah,
rock.
I listened to everything in the 80s.
That shit,
in the 80s, I listened
for
to
whatever it was,
especially because my mom didn't want me to listen to it. I just listened to it.
dude. But I'm just saying, like, whatever that music did, though, Frog, whatever that music did, though, it captured the act. Like, it made you feel something. Like, when you hear that music kick on,
man,
you're just like,
it
yeah,
really
let's go
feels good,
get,
man.
let's go kill them. AC/DC, that's right.
ACD, when I
Oh,
put-
gotcha.
when I put-
Aerosmith is old. Yeah,
I'm
right.
not
He's
gonna
old as
lie,
shit.
like when I
Who?
jumped into the game and I heard that music and I saw Rambo running around and John McClane, yeah, it did make me feel my age, but it also I got excited because I was like, yo, this is the action era that I grew up in. This is to me, I think it's the best action era. I don't think
Oh,
there'll be a
those
better
fun, those
action era.
movies, man. I love those movies.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why I think the Expendables would be a good.
Yo, the
kinda
Expendables
like
movie would be
do.
friggin' just the Expendables expansion, dude. Just go with it. Get Dolph Lundgren, get them all in there.
Or they could just do
Jason
do
Statham.
bring some guys from
Journey,
do
yes.
you got your
Yeah.
80s. I don't know if they're gonna do 80s, 90s, 2000, but then hopefully they just say, hey, we got the 80s, and they keep going with this 80s theme.
Yeah.
They bring in Arnold Schwarzenegger from Predator. Give me
Dude. Oh, Running Man.
Jesse the Body Ventura from Predator.
Sub-Zero. It's Plane Zero.
Yeah.
There's our
give me-
score. Look.
hey,
We lost
I
by
think
1 point.
Somebody said Indiana Jones. Yeah, Indiana Jones is 80s. That's definitely 80s.
Yeah.
That's 80s.
But the thing is like, I would think, like, first off, I wish they took it even
Scarface,
further. The music was good.
Yes.
I love the skins, even though you got to pay for them. I didn't buy them, but like, it's fun just shooting Rambo and John
I was
McClane.
about to say, I kind of wish you could earn those.
Yes.
Because I think
Well,
I
it's
don't.
Activision,
It's not
yeah.
that I don't want to buy them because I think they're I think $24 is kind of expensive.
Oh,
for these games.
yeah, I didn't look at the price. That's how much they are.
Yeah.
Hey,
they're 200
John McClane,
they're 200
kiss my ass.
They're 2,400. They're 2,400 points, which you can
Each?
buy for 19 on sale.
Wait, each?
But each. So
What?
Basically, it's $40. Which
What?
Call of Duty's gonna make.
Holy
Call of Duty's gonna
shit.
make money regardless.
Holy shit.
People know these. Yeah, dude. Somebody's stupid. Somebody said Mog is stupid. He said Bobby Brown and Whitney. Oh my God.
Shit.
Bobby
Wait a
Brown,
second.
Whitney,
Wait a
stupid.
second. Wait, this just killed my hype of the 80s. You mean that there are $40 to get John McClane and Rambo
Yeah, if you want both
skins?
of them is $40. Yes.
Holy
And
shit.
here's the thing: is that more expensive than Fortnite? Yes, in a way it is, but do I think it's kind of like worth it? Okay,
Well,
here's my
Kratos
thing
was
about it.
$20. Like, he was $2,000
It's-
in Fortnite.
It's worth it because when you look at what Fortnite charges for stuff,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
Call
I
of Duty's
know.
not really doing anything. Yeah, so Call of Duty's basically they're looking at Fortnite and saying, look, they're charging 20, we can get what. So realistically,
Sylvester Stallone got to get paid. Shit. Hit
yeah,
that like button.
I think it's kind of worth it in the sense
For
of
80s music.
if you're a fan of it.
An action-packed movie.
But here's the other problem, Jazz. Here's the other problem I have with it. These guys, if I'm not mistaken, these action superheroes are only there for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, they're there for 11 days. You could see in the up here it says
And
80s action
kinda
heroes.
okay,
It says
no,
11
they're
days.
They're there for 29 days. But
Yeah.
the action hero, what is it called? The action hero, I think it's like a bundle or something. Not the characters, but the little reward things you got to do. That's only there for 9 days. But so I don't know. Like, I'm a huge fan of like Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie. I watch it every Christmas.
Dude, I love Die Hard. Die Hard was awesome.
I like.
That was like my
Rambo,
first
I like
DVD
Rocky.
box set that I got. The Die Hard movie.
Yeah. Matter of fact, no, I can't lie. I think my first Blu-ray movie was Goonies. Yeah, that was my first.
Good
Blu-ray
enough.
movie.
Mommy
Yeah,
is
but
good enough.
I would like to see what they can do with
Good
this.
enough.
because I think
That was a
it's
good
kind of
80s music movie, too, music. Cyndi Lauper, baby.
But yeah, I think Call of Duty's been around so long that they can get away with doing this, and it will do well
Marty
because
McFly.
I think Call of Duty's been around since what the early freaking 2000s, basically.
Yeah.
So I think Call of Duty, this is where they need to go. Like this is perfect, right? Where Fortnite can get away with some of the more modern stuff, Call of Duty's taking a different path.
It's good.
And I kind
It's a good
of
move.
like that they're doing this. I just kind of wished it's like when you do something big like this, like, hey, give us a way to earn this stuff. You can buy it, but make it. You remember back in the day? This is what I'll give Bungie credit for. Remember back in the day when we used to play like Halo 2 and Halo 3? Like you have to do challenges in the game to get certain like armor pieces. Like,
yeah, well, microtransactions exist now, dude. Like so that's it. Yeah, you don't earn shit now.
Exist, but damn, man. So yeah, it's $19 for each of them. You get a 20% bonus. Yeah, so it's $19. So $40 for both of them. And let's see, John McClane comes with his skin. He comes with 3 different weapons, a finishing move, a double XP token. You get the duck type card where he's crawling through the ducks. You get his little walkie-talkie emblem, his detective badge, and his watch.
And the movie you should get too. That would be awesome.
And then Rambo.
You should get the movie.
Rambo comes with. That would be cool. Rambo comes with the Rambo skin, 2 weapons, a knife, a finishing move. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 finishing moves. His watch, his little Buddha charm, his headband emblem, and his jungle card. So, I mean, is it worth the $20 for what you're getting for that character? Yeah, you're getting a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And so it is kind of cool that you get to see, him rock around, run around with the classic Rambo gun.
Yeah, it's fun. But that mode, I love that. At least we can play that mode. That mode is people blowing up. It's hilarious. I love that.
And that mode is just amazing. It's so funny when you see people blow up.
Now we're
getting crunk. It is. You can't stop. You can't stop moving. You got to keep moving, and this gets you hyped. You're like hyped. You know, and then I'm getting everybody else hyped because I'm running around. I'm crunk. And,
oh yeah, it is very fun. And that crunk, whatever, that crank or whatever, that's like from the Crank movie with Jason Statham, where he gets that drug and he's like running around.
Such a good mode. Jez, they used to have the game mode crank.
Yes.
In Call of Duty.
Yes, they did.
They took it out.
You had to keep killing, otherwise you blow up.
Yeah, that's one thing.
That's from the movie.
About I don't understand why Call of Duty takes game modes out and they put it back in and take them out.
Bitches.
I'm like, yo,
that's
keep some of these game modes in here. Yeah, I don't get why they do that. I'm like, yo. And also, you get. I don't know if most people don't know this, but when you're playing a game in Call of Duty, you can have mixtapes. There's actually they're
still trying to talk about people playing the game.
And Black Ops 3. Yeah, I just think that they did a good job on this DLC. I don't know if it's too expensive for some people. I would say for what it's worth, look at Fortnite, and if you look at it the same.
No, it's great.
Fortnite,
I like it.
It's not that expensive.
Yeah, I like it. So here we go. Betty White from the Golden Girls is the last thing I'm going to say for the 80s action. Call of Duty, Betty White.
God.
Dropping elbows.
Dude, you know how dude, that was
Alf.
So funny.
Clinton says Alf.
Alf, Betty White, dude, that would be hilarious.
John Travolta and Nicolas Cage Face Off. Yo, Face Off was the best friggin' action movie, dude. Now we're not in the 80s, but man.
Great movie.
Chow Yun Fat. I think, no, Chow Yun Fat. Who was that? No, what's his name? Who's the guy that did all the action movies? The Doves and shit. What the hell's his name?
In the 80s? The 80s.
No, it was 90s
now.
down. Yeah, no. The guy who produced all those movies. What the hell's his name? The guy who did with the Doves. He did like Chow Yun Fat's movie with Stranglehold.
I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he did that movie. He did Face Off. Now I hear that they might be doing a Face Off 2. That they were gonna do it, but anyway, back to the games.
Soon,
now we gotta. Unfortunately, we're coming down the slope, Frog, and I know this is the thing. Biomutant reviews. You were hyped over Biomutant. You really want to play it. What did you see some of these reviews? John Woo, thank you, Guapzilla.
Okay.
Thank you, Sanu.
John Woo, there you go.
John Woo. Now, so let me tell you here. So, and then we'll get into the resolution shit.
Yeah, you go with your feelings first. I'll tell you what I think.
So right now, it's showing up on the Xbox. Biomutant is showing up as a 68 Metacritic. On the PlayStation, it's showing up as a 62. And on PC, it's showing up as a 68. So the Xbox and the PC, yeah. So the PlayStation 4 is,
let's give it a benefit of the doubt and say it's probably a solid 7 game. across the board?
Well,
Let's
it's
just say that.
60.5, I think. Like that's kind of where it's kind of sitting.
Well, what I'm saying is, if all intents and purposes, if you just look at what it's generally getting, most review sites think it's probably a 7.
No, there's a lot of 6s, dude. Like I'm looking, a lot of 60s.
So, I don't, when somebody, one of the sites gave it a 4, and I was like, bullshit.
No, that's
like,
well, IGN.
When you give a game a 4, that means the game is unplayable.
Yeah, no,
I don't understand.
EGM, but actually, it's EGM Frog though. They Electronic Game Monthly gave it a 4. That's pretty like substantial book. That's the magazine.
Means that game is broken. It does not work. You cannot play it. That means it's on some cyberpunk levels. Like it's all the time.
That's what I'm reading. Like this says that it's a lot of undeveloped
hold on, let me
stuff.
ask you this question: what did EGM give Cyberpunk? That's the question.
All right, let's look.
Let's look, because that's the question I want to.
You want to know what's their threshold?
Cyberpunk was a broken piece of shit game, and I played it. Had a great story, but that game was broken as fuck.
Let's see.
I mean, constantly crashing.
Let's see what EGM.
Constantly crashing, constantly glitches, and I can't see this game being. I've watched Coffee play this game a little bit, and I'm like,
it looks cool.
I can't see this game being a fucking 4. Not. I've seen people like I got Cyberpunk day 1, and that game was broken, and I love Cyberpunk, but
EGM gave it a 40 as well.
Okay.
All right.
Okay,
so and it's that a game thing. So what's interesting is that I was reading what it is, not just looking at the Metacritic score, but reading what the scores were. And basically, the theme seems to be that there's a lot of glitches and bugs that still are broken, which could be patched. And then the other thing seems to be that it's a like kind of a Frankenstein game. It's a mixture, and you were telling me this before. Like it's a mixture. Mm-hmm. They took inspiration from a lot of different games, and they basically kind of mashed it together. Well, the mash came out like Frankenstein, and it doesn't connect, and everything. The world looks nice, but there's no substance, and the story doesn't bring it together, and it just seems like a bunch of kind of a parts of other games. That's what they said. That's what the general thing is.
Did you watch ACG's review?
No, I didn't watch his review yet. So I just saw these things.
He had a really good review, and he basically, I kind of like what he said, and when he said what he said, it kind of said, okay, that's the game for me. He kind of said, if you're into those Zen moment games where you can be in an adventure and you have moments where you're not doing anything, and then you come up on a and it's like a Zen moment, like it shows you the beauty and landscape of the world, and then you get into this big battle. And he said it's kind of like one of those games. He said, maybe wait for a sale if you're not into that type of thing. I'm in the Zen moment games. I'm in the games with these worlds that are really weird and big. Like I said, I played freaking Mass Effect Andromeda, and I thought that game.
Dude, you played through Cyberpunk on console.
Yeah, I played through Cyberpunk on console, and I think the game is as glitchy and broken as that game was. I thought the story for itself held that game up. I think the gameplay was it was okay, but I think what held Cyberpunk was the story. If it didn't have the glitches and the bugs, I think I would say, I'm right at the end. I haven't beat it yet, so I don't want to give it a review score. But from me just playing it in the preview state, I guess you could say it is. I think it's a solid 8, but I haven't beat it, so I don't know.
It was just this Biomutant. I feel bad because like Ryan Land says, it's too bad because I thought the game was going to be epic. You're right. It looked epic, and it looked so freaking cool.
A lot of people. Okay, Buck Rogers said it. Buck Rogers said it, and this is what I love. Man, thank you, Buck Rogers.
It's made by
the game was made by 20 people. You got to give respect. And
then why did they destroy it so bad in the reviews? Like they should. Where's the new IP buffer, man?
I'm gonna tell you why they destroyed it. You want me to tell you why they destroyed it? And I heard one reviewer say it, and I kind of, dude, IGN, man, I got no respect for those guys.
Dude, they've been on some bullshit. IGN, holy shit.
IGN. I
don't know what the hell they put into their goddamn falafel, but my God, those guys, they like took a 180 horse shit.
Dude, if I'm wrong, correct me in the chat, but I swear when I looked at the IGN review, a big problem they had was like, it's a studio of 20 guys creating a triple A experience. Like, with 20 people, you shouldn't be trying to go for AAA. You should be trying to. I was like, what?
What?
Like, what the fuck? Like, and then basically that's what kind of was said. And and a matter of fact, one of the IGN guys said it on Twitter, was like, and I think it was Brian O'Tonnell. He was like, hey man, it's 20 guys. Why are you going for AAA? Like, lower your standards. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah, and I think it was Brian O'Tonnell that said it, and I was kind of like, wait, what? Just because it's 20 guys, they shouldn't go for AAA standard? That's bullshit.
It's bullshit.
Like,
Look at what they did with Hellblade 1. Hellblade.
Let me tell you something.
That was a small team, and they went AAA. And they tried to. That was an experiment for Ninja Theory to do Hellblade.
A group of 20 guys looking at what this game is doing, and like I said, I haven't played it. It's already pre-ordered. I'm downloaded. I'm ready to play. I thought it was gonna be tonight, but it's gonna be tomorrow. And I'm just looking. I'm like, yo, this is this game I want to play. And a lot of people are saying it's like, some people saying it has that. What is it? That Ubisoft stench on it.
Oh no!
They're kind of like, yeah, they're like, oh, it's like the Ubisoft stench. It's like if Ubisoft made a game, this, that was like this. This would be it'd be called Biomutant. I was like, whoa!
Oh,
like
damn.
one of the reviewers said it, and he was like, yeah, if this thing a Ubisoft type of game, I was like, damn. Like he basically kind of threw Ubisoft under the bus a little bit. He's like, it kind of has an Ubisoft stench on it. I was like, damn. And then another guy said, as good as it runs, I want to say it was Dreamcast guy said, he's playing on a PS5, and he said he really can't. He said for all the talk about the 4K 60, 1080p 60 upscale, he said I can't tell the difference. He said I really can't tell. He says this game runs smooth, and he said I really like it. He said it has some shortcomings, but he said it's a really fun game. And he said, for if you just look at if you go into this game thinking like, hey, 20 guys made this, you'll be like, yo, 20 guys made this. This is this is damn good for 20
But if
guys.
that's the thing, then it should be priced for 20 guys.
Yeah, but I think
and that's where that horse shit comes in. It's like, we're in a shitty ass time right now, dude. Like,
Yes.
you would think, this is the thing, you would think with the flexibility that we have with the digital marketplace, that games would be able to exist at all different types of levels, and there would be this whole thing.
Does?
But you know what? It doesn't.
I totally agree with you. But you know what, Jez? Here's the thing. You said price is 20 guys minutes, so this probably should have been a $40 title A.
And I bet
right?
you it would get 10, 15 points more.
But you know why?
Look at this. Look at the rig doll.
You know why it wasn't a $40 title? It wasn't a $40 title because THQ Nordic they have a lot of money, and they're the ones that kind of hold the cards and say what you can and can't charge it for.
THQ Nordic.
20 guys made it.
Yeah, they were making some excuse, and they were a little sassy on Twitter though. Like, when people, man, we'll talk about the resolution shit, but they were a little sassy on there, going, this is not a AAA. Or, you know what? Like, the thing is that you look at this game and the size of it and the scope of it, and it says AAA. All right, you could tell me one guy made this in the basement, two guys made it at lunch at McDonald's. But you know what? You showing this game, the way I'm looking at it, this game looks like it is definitely on the higher end with scope, and it has a lot of. It looks like that way. It doesn't look like this is a garage project. So it's hard,
right?
And one thing, Frog, I want to say too is that if this game got 80s and 90s, I don't think they'll be pointing out, 20 dudes made it, and nobody be making excuses. They'll be like, yes, this is AAA. It's amazing. 90, But all of a sudden, the scores come out low, and it's like, two dudes made it. It's like,
I think the other big thing is too, and a lot of people are saying it, like that resolution whole 4K 60,
dude, that
fucking doesn't matter because it looks basically like you really can't tell. A lot of people who played on both consoles who have it early, they said you can't. It's not a major difference. You really can't tell. You can't tell
cool.
That 1080p upscaled 4K and that native 4K.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't
the next
tell
topic.
because it runs. Yeah, and they said it runs really good. Like I've seen some people say there's some hiccups here and there, but they say for the most part the game stays at whatever the locked frame rate is. And obviously we know Digital Foundry is going to come out and do something on. They probably will. I just think for what this game is worth, I think that it's something that's unique, and I think that we need to support the small dev teams. I think if these guys weren't attached to THQ Nordic and it was just one-on-one experiment and that was the company and these guys just started out, I think that people would have a different feeling. Like, damn, 20 guys made it with a startup studio and this is what they created. I think would have got higher scores. Yeah, there are probably some technical limitations to it. And we live in an age, and this is how I think now. We live in an age where I expect all games to come out with bugs and have to have patches within the first, week to month of the games coming out. I don't expect them to be flawless. There are certain studios when they come out, I kind of have an expectation like this game is probably going to come out damn near flawless, like where it doesn't need a lot of patches, like, a Naughty Dog.
That was
Sony
cool.
Santa Monica.
Look at that. It's almost like Katamari Damacy.
Yeah, most Nintendo games, they come out and they don't really need a major patch at launch, you know. And I have an expectation, you know, and I would expect like 343 when Halo comes out, it doesn't need a major patch. I would expect that because I would expect that you've been working on the game. So a game like
Well,
this,
let's see what they say. Let me see here.
I think that this game, I think when this game come out, I didn't expect it needing major patches. And a lot of people who are playing this, here's the other thing, and this is the developer's fault. A lot of people who played this, they played it before the day one patch, and so
Yeah.
a lot of the patches a lot of the problems they had the game were fixed with the day one patch, because like I said, I was watching Kofi, he was playing it, and I guess he got the day one patch, and he was like, game one's fine, not having no problems.
So EGM says Biomutant is trying to be too many things. It can be fun when you're comboing supernatural abilities and homemade weaponry to take down a group of bad guys. But its RPG mechanics are so clunky and uneven that its various story threads are so underdeveloped that you'll end up feeling like nothing you do matters. If you just want to explore yet another open world and beat up some bad guys, then Biomutant will keep you busy for a few hours. Just be ready to encounter a slew of baffling and questionable executed design. So then, let's read Washington Post. Let's see what these guys said. There are so many borrowed ideas that you're bound to find something you would like about this game. So that's a 65 they had. True Achievement says Biomutant feels like it has so much heart behind it that more enough to pull you to keep you coming back for more than enough. You could just focus on those end game bosses, but it'll be a crime to do so. Biomutant's expansive world so much that you'll lose hours of exploration before even thinking about taking some of those side quests. It's a breath of fresh air to see unique combinations of inspirations and themes behind the game, which will indeed help out stand it apart as wrapped up in a post-apocalyptic kung fu fable. The only issue is where Biomutant doesn't quite measure up to the scope and complexity it offers, leaving it feeling as though it needs more polish to complete the transformation into a real gem.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this game probably is a solid 7 in most people's eyes.
I don't know why the PlayStation version got lower. I don't know if that's because of the resolution.
And I would say, you know, I don't think there's a problem with that. You know, I think they shot for the stars, they hit the moon, and they didn't get far, and they're like, shit, we hit the moon, we didn't get to the stars. Like, okay, we at least we hit something. And I think that maybe, you know, I don't know if there'll be a Biomutant 2 or if they'll do DLC, but maybe because it took so long. We don't know. Here's a lot of things we don't know about this game. We don't know what kind of, you know, budget they were dealing with, you know, even though they stopped.
Yeah, it looks cool. Like, it looks like a mashup and cool concepts. Like, I'm definitely going to play it. This is the thing. So, we're going to get to the next topic is the resolution thing. So, apparently, the way this thing worked is that there was, so there is the Xbox. There are no next-gen versions of the game. There's no Series X and PlayStation 5 versions.
Next-gen versions, right.
So, they are basically running the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X versions. However,
that's all.
Due to the technology and the way Phil and friends built the Series X, is that the game is able to take advantage of the extra horsepower in the Series X and give it a higher resolution and run better than the PlayStation 5. The PlayStation 5 is running it at 1080p 60. However, the Xbox Series X version has a 4K 60 game mode. And and you know, this was very important, and we've been seeing this too in some of the backwards compatible games. Same thing with Mass Effect, is that having 120 frames per second mode where the PlayStation doesn't, is that I think a lot of these kind of cross-gen games benefited because of the One X. The existence of the One X allowed developers to have higher settings and resolutions in their games, more so than the PlayStation 4 Pro, and that the Series X could take that and even enhance that even more. So that's kind of Microsoft's, that was the whole thing. Play your old games better, or play older gen games better, because the system
and I was just about to say something about that. So here's my feeling on the Jazz.
Yeah.
I honestly feel, and I watch Kid Smooth's, what is his LTG podcast, him and Dre, shout out to them. I actually like that podcast. It's pretty good. But I watched him, and you know, Kid Smooth says something that I'll totally agree with him on with the Xbox, is Xbox Series X is the best place to play your last gen games, because these games, You know how I look at cross-gen games, and maybe I'm looking at the definition wrong.
To play
I look at it.
last gen games that you want to play. They don't have the
last-gen
God of
games
War
that you want,
last gen. They don't have the Ghost of Tsushima last gen.
It's the best
That's the
place
thing.
To play your
third party, maybe.
It's the best place to play your okay. Let's just say it's the best place to play your third party last gen games because we
and I don't want to interrupt your thought, but I am gonna say this is where Microsoft, you know, and this is where it always drove me crazy, was that if they were going to be this approach, them having no real big first-party games on the One X and big franchises and kicking off a Sunset Overdrive. Exactly. The thing is that them relying on such a poor generation of new IP and games that really hit the ground running made it so funny that Microsoft, of all companies, was like, you still want to play these old games? It's like, nobody wants to play State of Decay. You know, but when you look at what Sony built up over the PlayStation 4 with God of War, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, all these games, those are the kind of games that, hey, I would probably want to jump back into those Game of the Year and those incredible games that looked amazing back then. I can't wait to see them on my new hardware. And Sony's like, nah, forget about those. Here's some more new games. And I always thought it was interesting. They kind of flip-flopped. Like, you would think Microsoft would be like, yo, don't look at the One X, though the Xbox One. We're going to start a brand new generation of Series X games and move on from this fallacy like they did with the the old one.
Yeah, because what I was going to say is I think maybe I agree with Smooth and the Xbox fans. Maybe it is the best place to play some of your third-party games that are on your Series X. But there again, is it really? Because this is my debate. A lot of those games they tout as the 60 frames mode and the 120 mode that are running on X. They're not running the Xbox One.
The frames per second boost.
They're running that. That regular Xbox.
That's a Paula trick.
They're running the regular.
It's okay,
X.
But that's not.
So my whole thing is, like, I give for instance, like when I look at cross-gen games, I look at games like, to me, Spider-Man is a cross-gen game. Why is it a cross-gen game? Because it's on PlayStation natively, it's in on PS5 natively. They're both different versions. They're not the same version. One is made for the PS5. You know, it'd be like me downloading like for instance, I think when I think of cross-gen, when I think of cross-gen games, I should be able to download a native PS5 version. That's a cross-gen game. So, for instance, like BioShock and Biomutant is really not a cross-gen game. It's a last-gen game that the Series X can take advantage of in a way. And so, I think that's cool that Xbox can do it, and we don't know the reason. But like again, I think the reason is primarily because a lot of the PS5 games are running whatever the Pro could do. Whatever that Pro could do, we said this before. Whatever PS4 Pro could do, that's what the PS5 is going to run the PS4 games in. Whatever the Series X can run is probably going to run the X mode. Now, when Microsoft goes and they say, hey, this game can run at 60 down, this game can run at 120, just expect that game is going to run the Xbox Series S mode. So I don't give a damn if you're, like, for instance, I don't give a damn Mass Effect can run to 120 on the Xbox. You know why? Because all that's doing is it's to me, it's just like, who is gonna? I hate when I hear people say 120. Most people aren't playing their games on their PS5 and Series X. Let's just be real. I would say 2% of the market probably. If I had to put a number on it.
You mean they don't have a display to do 120?
Yeah, let's just say 2% of the market that has PS5s and Series X's are playing on a screen that can do 120. Most people are not doing that.
Yeah.
And my damn dog has to bark.
She's bothering me. No, and I agree. Like, I do think that it's a good feather in the cap about the 120, but I agree. I don't think it's mass market appeal that, the 120 frames. And especially, I'm going to tell you this too. The fact that it lowers the fidelity of the game to get 120. Like, everybody hypes up the frames per second, but everybody kind of downplays the resolution, or not only resolution, but the graphical hits. You remember, I'll recall Dirt 5, 120 frames per second mode. Phil kicked everybody out of the fucking stadium and did the lawnmower man to all the bushes. Everybody. So how would you like to play a racing game at 120 frames per second, but there's no crowd? Okay, well, to you it doesn't matter, but you know what? It's kind of weird when you got a bunch of stands and there's nobody there. But it's 120 frames. Okay, but like, My whole thing with this whole frames per second and stuff, this is my personal thing about this whole thing, is that if you really, really, really care, go buy a goddamn PC. You want to know why? Because you could control everything to get exactly what you want. I don't think console players should even stick their head out about frames per second, resolutions, and all this other horse shit, because you are not in control of it at all. You could say, well, I could turn on frames per second mode, I could turn on graphical fidelity mode, and you want to know what? The thing is that I personally have to measure what am I losing. So if I'm seeing this game and my eyes are bleeding, the Spider-Man is oozing machismo, and the crowd, it looks like I'm in the city, it looks picturesque. I'm like, holy crap, this looks so friggin' real. Then I go, well, oh, no, what, 30 frames? Oh, shit. Well, then let me turn it down. All of a sudden, the density of the people are gone. The cars are less. The distance is now, everything's kind of fuzzy looking now. But Spider-Man's moving around. Everybody moving around real quick. But now all of a sudden, it looks blurry, and it doesn't look like that. Well, now I got to make a decision on flipping back and forth. Whereas, if I was on PC, and now I know Spider-Man's not on PC, but if that bothered me, then I would then adjust resolution. I will play like what I have here is basically 2K 144
Jazz, let me ask
at
you a
144 hertz screen. Now, even though I have a 144 hertz screen, I'm not jacking up all my resolutions to 144 because I'm losing some fidelity with that.
Here's a question for you, Jazz. And let's just say we as console guys, right? We let's just say we start saying, hey, we start talking about frames and resolution. If I'm not mistaken, and I might be wrong, every game that has a PlayStation 5 version, right? So whatever game you can play that has an actual PS5 version, if I'm not mistaken, is at 60 frames. At bare minimum, 60 frames.
Well, you have the option to play 60 frames in some of the games. Like, Demon's Souls, you could play at 30, right?
What I'm saying is every game on the PS5 that's made and it's a PS5 game because I'm looking at all my PS5 games that I own, and I'm like, all these games can play at 60 frames. So I don't see why, like, when they say, hey, this can run at one. I don't see the point. Like, you buy a console with the expectation that, hey, like I bought a PS5 with the expectation I was going to get games, but by expectation, realistic, it was like most of the games I'm playing on here, I would say probably all of them were going to run at 60 frames per second, right? Every game I've played on my PlayStation runs at 60 frames.
Frogs, what if I told you?
Seen a game. Look, I haven't seen an exclusive game or even third-party game that doesn't run at 60 frames. I've seen some on the Xbox Series X, the medium. But what I'm saying is, and that's just one game, but what I'm saying is every game that is a PlayStation, has a PlayStation 5 version, and probably an Xbox Series X version, runs at a lock 60 for the most part. When you start pushing, I honestly think this console can easily hit 60 frames on all games. 120 is a whole different
Well, see,
thing.
That's the thing, and that's my whole point.
Do we even need the 120, right?
Do
we even need the 120? It's cool if you can do it, but if you can't do it, who cares? You know why? Because people,
you can't even stream games at 120.
Most people aren't going out to buy a panel that can do that. Most people have just the regular TVs there. Look, the average gamer just has a regular TV. There's probably some cheap freaking TCL 4K TV.
I'm gonna be yes.
So why do you need it?
Well,
why is it an important thing?
Well, because it's just the thing is that I'm gonna tell you right now the way it is. The PlayStation 5 and the Series X are both comparable consoles. The extra teraflops on the Xbox has yet to be proven. Okay, so if there is even and that's why. When PlayStation,
people say, "Oh, it's so much more powerful."
Dude, that's the problem. See, that's the problem, Frog, because
similar systems.
They spent 3 goddamn years with Phil Spencer brushing their balls about power. They had the friggin' Cugdry Trouty coming out taking monsters for breakfast, taking bitches out for brunch. The thing is
if
that
you're an
you
Xbox
talk
guy and
power
you're touting power
for
about some
3
last-gen games, you have
goddamn
problems.
years. 3 goddamn years you talk power. So guess what? As soon as our games coming out with let the games do the talking, and all of a sudden now third-party
Exactly.
games are performing better on the weaker powered supposedly machine.
Thank you. And then they get one game. Oh, Biomutant can run 4.
But it's not the same thing. It's not a
that's
next
last
gen
generation.
game.
Yeah, that's let me get when Ratchet and Clank comes out, and they're like, "Yeah, this is running at 60, and we're hitting like a dynamic 4K." I expect 60 dynamic 4K. I don't expect native 4K. I expect dynamic 4K because everything I played on the PS5 can basically run 60 in a dynamic 4K. Some of them hit 60 native 4K, but I'm expecting 60 dynamic 4K if it's for this generation.
Frog, Captain Crunch says, why you bashing budget 4K TVs?
Hey, I'm sorry, man. TLCs are not the best TVs. They did come out with 86-inch, though. Oh, shit. Breaking news.
What?
Oh, shit.
What's breaking news? What's going to derail my Grindsboard? What happened?
Oh, dude. Breaking news.
It better be good, Frog. It better be good. Do I have to hit the sirens? Wait.
Hold on.
I'm hitting the sirens. Breaking news.
Siren.
All right. Let's hit. What's the breaking news?
Never, ever. I'm going to say this here and now, and it's going to make me seem like such a fucking fanboy.
Uh-oh.
Never, ever trust anything that comes out of Microsoft's mouths about a game being exclusive to their console.
Uh-oh. Hit the sirens again.
Never.
What happened, Frog? What's new? I'm trying to find on Twitter. What do you mean? What happened? What happened?
You don't have to find it on Twitter, Jazz. Just go to your PS5 and look at the PS5 store. They just announced the game is coming to PS5, and I'm like,
I'm not on my PS5. What happened?
A fucking Falconeer. The fucking game.
Oh,
man.
Shit.
That fucking shit is sitting in the
Frog.
Falconeer fucking Word Edition. That piece of fucking shit.
I hope this is not true.
Xbox fucking guys kept saying this is exclusive. This fucking game is coming.
Put this thing away. This is not worth it.
This is why I don't trust.
Put this thing away. This is not worth it.
Xbox. I don't trust any of those cocksuckers sitting there talking about exclusive. For all we know, fucking Starfield will come to fucking PlayStation.
I've got news for you. You're mine now. You belong to me.
The beginning of last generation. They've constantly fucking deceived you in the gaming space, and people fucking cheer this shit on. Hey, we got this exclusive coming out. Look at this game coming out. Fucking 200 exclusive to Xbox. And then we fucking find out
Relax.
It's coming out on the PS4.
You've been erased.
Don't fucking listen to anything that fucking says exclusive by anybody, especially fucking Microsoft. When the E3 comes this year, take everything they do.
I hope this is not true.
Xbox exclusive. First premiere, take that shit with a fucking grain of salt because it may come on a Switch and it may come on a PlayStation 5. They do this shit all the fucking time. Fucking Ashen, Xbox exclusive. That shit's on the fucking PlayStation 4. You see what I'm saying? Every time they say fucking exclusive, get the fuck out of it. I don't trust anybody that says anything about exclusive unless you own that fucking company. So, and look, and here's the thing. I'm kind of sketchy with Bethesda and Microsoft because we don't know what the fuck their deal is. So my whole thing is, yeah, Halo probably won't come to PlayStation. Gears of War probably won't come to PlayStation. But, hey, fucking Todd Howard and his cocksucking band of fucking merry men, who knows what the fuck they told
You're my number one customer.
Maybe they can say, look, we're going to put this here for a fucking year, and it's coming to PlayStation for $70. My whole thing is, every time Microsoft fucking comes out the side of their neck about a game being exclusive, that shit ends up coming on PlayStation, and then we end up seeing...
Put this thing away. This is not worth it.
9 times out of 10, it's a better fucking version. All you have to do is sit back and wait. That's why I say sometimes it's like, does it benefit me to go out there and invest more into Xbox ecosystem when they're not giving me the games I fucking want? This is why I get on my fucking look. And here's the thing, if you're a Kids Move or I'm not gonna call any other Xbox freaking names out, but if you're in that ecosystem, stay in your ecosystem. That's what I'll tell you right now. Stay in your PlayStation ecosystem and your Xbox ecosystem. It doesn't even really matter to argue about the whole console war, right? Because truly, it's really about the fucking game wars. Who has the better games? And at this point, in this day and time right now, PlayStation and Nintendo have some of the best fucking games. So go out there and buy a PS5 if you can find one. Go out there and buy a Switch or just wait for Switch Pro. But how I'm looking at Xbox now, man, every time you say something, Xbox premiere, world exclusive. Get the fuck out of here. Every time you say that shit, 6 months to a year later, this shit's on PlayStation and Switch. That's why I keep telling people, hey, unless a Microsoft at E3 says, hey, we're buying the team that made fucking, Ori and the Blind Forest, I think that shit's still coming to PlayStation 5. I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to PlayStation 5 because it's a good fucking game. And Microsoft will sit there and like, oh, let's just put it in Game Pass, let it fucking die. Ori fucking, the part 2 came out and fucking died. That game came out and fucking died. How does a good game like that come out and get no support? Yeah, of course, I played it, but the fucking Xbox community doesn't fucking care about games like that. That's why they created Game Pass. They don't fucking care. Unless it's a Call of Duty, a fucking Madden, a 2K, the Xbox community doesn't fucking care. That's what they did. They created Game Pass to let games go there and fucking die. They have yet to impress
Frog's
me with
grinding
any game
his
in Game
gears.
Pass. They have yet to impress me in any game
Let
in
it
Game
out.
Pass to be a super success. They just put games in there and they fucking die. They don't do advertisement. I'm telling you, man. I'm Microsoft. Man, the Xbox is done. I can't stand this shit, dude. It bothers me so much because why not just say, look, Game Pass day one, Falconeer. Because you remember how much shit they talked about the Falconeer?
I thought the Falconeer was goddamn trash, though.
Dude, it was fucking trash. But it's just the fact that they talked about the Falconeer and Xbox Series X like it was the coming of Christ. They talk about this game like it was the freaking apocalypse. They talked about this game like we were going to fucking Andromeda. Like I can't fucking understand what is going on over there, man. Something's going on over there.
The Coon 1985 says you're crapping all over their gaming dreams.
Let me tell you something. As much as I want to be back
in
the
Grindhouse,
Xbox
baby.
ecosystem,
Woo!
I can't do it. Shout out to King David and all them guys.
Frog's going off. Oh no.
Look, shout out to all those guys who are in the Xbox ecosystem. Love your system that you're in. Just be known and just be on the mindset that you're not getting good games for at least 4 more fucking years. And then when you do get them, don't think you're going to catch up to any fucking thing. They're putting your games in Game Pass and let them die. Let it burn, baby. Let it burn.
Let it burn. All right. Well, there's been Frogs brought to you by Grinds My Gears. Show Frog grinded his gears, hit the sirens. Oh, my goodness. That was hot. The Falconeer triggered the frogs. My goodness.
It triggers me, man.
Frog, first off, I want to say one thing. The
God.
Falconeer, I don't think it wasn't on the PlayStation Dash.
Shit.
But, dude, it is, I think they did say it like about a few days ago, but yeah, it was like, who cares? But man, the thing is like, I understand the thing with the games. I don't even have that on the topic because I've been hearing about, all these videos, the whole downplaying of E3. Anymore. Dude, the whole downplaying of E3 and how, like, everybody's like, it's COVID and these games got delayed another year and a half. And I'm like, holy shit. And that's where I don't understand the whole, and this wasn't on the topic thing, but, like, the thing is like, how the hell is everybody else getting games out, but Microsoft was so hurt by COVID that they can't get their games out anytime soon. And it actually, they're making excuses. Meanwhile, they're the ones that develop all this, remote from home and working. And I would think that games that are like almost done or games that are being worked on, like even games like look at the time point where COVID hit Ratchet and Clank or COVID hit like kind of Spider-Man and the launch of the PlayStation and the fact that Sony had these games lined up and continually brought out these games through the course of Sony. It wasn't like they just launched a console without any games. And then on top of that, the problem I have, too, with the excuses about E3 is not going to be big because COVID and Microsoft's games are going to be another 2 or 3 years, the problem I have is that we were told or hyped to believe 3 years ago that Microsoft just stopped making games for the Xbox One and they were all in on next generation. Well, next generation is here and we're 6 months into this generation, and now you're telling me, oh, no, that's going to be 2 or 3 years from now. But the thing is that this didn't just start this year because of COVID. This wasn't like Microsoft dropping a Ghost of Tsushima, a Last of Us. Microsoft hasn't dropped anything of those calibers in a long time. And so,
in the last 6 years? 5, 6 years?
That's
They
what
really
I
haven't
don't
dropped
understand.
anything.
Like, and then it's like, well, now wait another 3 years. Well, you know what? The last point I make on this thing is that not only do you wait, and this wasn't on the Grindsboard, but since Frog went on his rant, I just want to address
Dude,
something.
I mean, hey, Jazz, I'm gonna tell you something, and this is a caveat to it. At this point, this is what I feel. I my personal self am not interested in Deathloop. It's a Bethesda or Arcane. It's an Arcane developed game.
Yeah,
I don't really think Arcane is like they don't. I don't like their games. I'm just gonna be honest. That thing could be an Xbox exclusive, and that shit would die. It's. I honestly think.
Hit that like button. Frog's rant. Somebody else is grinding their gears tonight.
I think that game is gonna come out, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be mediocre, and I think it'll come to Xbox, and nobody's gonna give a flying fuck about it.
Deathloop.
That's what I personally think. Yeah, I don't think Deathloop is. I have no interest in that game.
Well, we will see. Frog's going off again.
Man, I just. Oh
we gotta. I need like the friggin' bucket of cold water for Frogs. I gotta hit a cold bucket of water on him, dude. So like, what I'm gonna say is that the thing is that like we'll mention about Returnal and stuff like that. For them to release the game, get well reviewed, and look, you even see the struggle that Biomutant's facing. Like, it's a new IP. It got bad Metacritic reviews. Now, yes, that's not saying that it's going to be a bad game. That's not saying that you won't like it. But again, industry perspective-wise, it's not going to be that revered type game that maybe a publisher will look at the Metacritic. Because, unfortunately, Metacritic is a real... it's a litmus test for a lot of these publishers to see whether a game will be successful or will it be like they give bonuses based off of Metacritic. So we can't deny Metacritic as a visual for a publisher. So seeing those scores, it is hard to have a new IP come out and make waves. And the fact that Returnal was able to do that, Ghost of Tsushima was able to do that, that is a huge testament and a big risk that those games did that stuff. When you're sitting here going, well, Avowed is coming out whenever it does, so now you wait since 2020, we know since Avowed, if it comes out in 2024, 2023, if it comes out and it hits a 68, a 70, I understand it's in Game Pass and you don't have to buy it, but now the thing is that was the wait worth it? So what are you going to say? Well, Avowed 2 will improve on Avowed. Well, now what are you doing? You're waiting from 2023 now for another 4 years before they fix Avowed 2? So that's why there's a huge question mark on Microsoft Studios, because we don't know what a perfect doc from a brand new group of an initiative team is going to look like. And what happens when it comes out 3 years from now and it doesn't look that what we wanted or we expected? Now, the wait for that, not only does that build anticipation, but dude, now you're going to look at this game come out and you're going to be like, oh shit, well, Perfect Dark 2 will be better than this one. This was just they're getting their feet wet, And now that's the issue where it's the wait really doesn't stop when the game drops. It's really if the game drops and it's successful and actually the game is good and does what it needs to do. So that is the challenge that basically Microsoft faces. It's not the fact that Microsoft's going to get games coming out. The problem is these games got to be good, especially the wait that you're doing. Mm-hmm. And also, Compost Smurf, what's up, Compost Smurf, says here, how long till they shut down some of those studios? You don't know, dude. And that's the thing. Like, anything can happen in technology. A year is a lifetime. Just look at they build a new phone every friggin' year. It's a lifetime. Oh, what? You got the S10? Oh, the S11.
And I'll honestly say, like, my personal opinion is my personal opinion. I mean, not you guys gonna agree with me. I think Arcane's a trash studio. Most of their games look the same. Like, I don't think I'd have been interested. All their games look the same to me. When you talk about Bethesda, the studio.
But Frog, it does have a co-op thing. It does have a cool co-op thing where it's like the hunt to be. Oh shit! Okay, well, never mind. I'm gonna stop right there. Frog's mind is made up.
I personally think Arcane is a trash studio. Some people may look at Bioware and say they're trash, but I look at the hits they've come out with in their sales, and like, their games don't sell for shit.
Oh, damn.
I'm so
well. Speaking of
look,
I'm gonna get something to grind your gears right now, Frog.
Look,
let
me tell you, the only fucking thing I can say I really like Bethesda is the Fallout and the Elder Scrolls series. Outside of that, I don't fucking like anything else. Fucking Wolfenstein can kiss my nuts. Doom is good.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking Wolfenstein can kiss my nuts. Everything that Arcane makes can kiss my nuts. Most of their other studios can go fuck themselves. I don't care for their fake ass fucking Resident Evil game. Like, most of the shit they have is not worth shit. So I like, and really, like, Bethesda, the only games I really want to see, I really want to play are freaking Fallout and the Elder Scrolls games. Outside of that, they don't really, like, their games don't sell big. I don't know where people get this idea. Look, there's a difference between a game selling good and scoring well, and there's a game between a game scoring well and selling like fucking ass. Like, Wolfenstein sold like fucking ass.
Well, the first one I thought was well, what the first one though? The sequels weren't that good. Where they've been the co-op and stuff. So bad. The first one was good, right?
No, the first one is good. Had a good review score. But it sold like fucking ass.
Well, but did you play it though? Did you? I liked it.
Yeah. I beat the first one.
Yeah, it was when they went crazy with the co-op shit, where they went wild.
There you go. It just turned to shit, and that's what I'm saying. Like, somebody said in the chat, they make niche games. They do. A lot of their games are niche. It's kind of like.
Well, that's Machine Works. That's not Arcane.
But no. But what I'm saying, a lot of the studios that Bethesda makes, like, they own, I don't think their games are that great. Like, they're not like, oh my gosh, gotta go out day one and get it. They're like, oh, if I see it in the bargain bin, I'll pick it up. That's how I kind of feel about the game. Same with the guys that make fucking, what's that game called that's getting a PS5 upgrade and a Series X upgrade? A fucking Metro game? Metro has a good story, but outside of that,
Frog's wild.
Like, I don't.
He said it got the dog wound up.
Look, let me tell you something, man. Metro is a good franchise for what it's worth, but it's not really, they don't make good games. All their games seem similar. Like, those shit belong on PC. Fuck that shit. I don't know, man.
Frog, the chat is cracking me up. They're saying that your dog don't agree with you either. The dog is wild.
Hey.
And they said that the mailman's in trouble tomorrow.
My dog is getting riled up because I'm talking about fucking Microsoft and the shit they own. They just keep buying shit they're going to close down anyway. They fucking bought Nokia, closed that shit. They do everything Microsoft touches turns to shit.
Oh, my God.
Shit, look at Bill Gates. Bill Gates can't even keep his marriage together.
Oh, shit, we get.
Bullshit.
Microsoft has something to do with Microsoft turns to shit.
Oh my God, Jesus!
You're my number one customer.
My goodness.
Shit.
All right.
What can they do right, man?
Yeah, I agree. Frog.
Nothing.
The Frog, the Microsoft definitely has a lot to prove here. I can't stop laughing. Dude, the freaking grinders in the chat got me cracking up, man. This is great. Hey, man, this is the gaming grindhouse, man. This is not. This is how you come in here and you just show your emotion. That's what it's about. It's emotion and passion for gaming. If you don't like it, say you don't like it. Don't say, oh, yo, maybe I'll get a review copy. I like it. Fuck out of here. Frog's not getting any review copies from Bethesda or Machine Games.
Fuck that. Hey, I need to be up there with what's old boy's name that doesn't get anything about fucking Bethesda. They don't fuck with Bethesda and him don't fuck what's the guy's name? The guy who wrote that Pixels book.
What's the book? Dude, we didn't even get off the we're not even halfway through this shit. What the hell?
Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. That book. He wrote Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Oh, Jason Schreier?
Yeah.
Yo, I don't even, dude, I didn't even put that shit on there. Where he came out and said Starfield, talking about Bethesda, he said that Starfield was gonna come out not this year but next year.
Yeah. Hey, call me Frog Schreier Part 2 because guess what? Fuck Bethesda, man. Bethesda has only made really 2 good freaking series, and that's the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout. Other than that, everything else they make. Outside of, like, I'll give Doom props. Doom and Doom Eternal.
Doom Eternal was good, and Doom, I liked it.
They were both fantastic. Outside of that, the scary ass game they try to make, that shit is trash.
Oh, Evil Within. Yeah,
that
was
shit
rough.
is garbage. Like,
Dude,
I mean, I own both those, and I'm like, these games are fucking trash.
Frog, Compost says no more Xbox body wash free samples.
Look, I own a lot of Bethesda published games. Don't get me wrong. So what I'm saying is, I've supported the company, but a lot of the things they promise, I'm like, I get the games, I'm like, yo, what is this shit? So my whole thing is like, I think when you look at what Microsoft purchased, right? Like if Sony purchased Bethesda, it'd be like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll be excited more about the Elder Scrolls and the Fallout series, right? When Microsoft purchased them, I was like, oh, Elder Scrolls and Fallout is only going to be on Xbox. Shit, I got to get an Xbox. That's what I said, right?
Yeah.
But then I started thinking about, outside of the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, how many of their big franchises do I really love? Only Doom. The rest of that shit is trash. Like, it's fucking trash. Like, it's not that good. They don't sell good. And people are acting like the Bethesda purchase, because when people say Bethesda, the first thing they think about, let's be real, when people say Bethesda, they think about Elder Scrolls and Fallout. That's the first two game franchises. You don't think about motherfucking Wolfenstein and motherfucking Evil Within and fucking, what's that other game where they were in space, the Prey? You don't think about that trash.
I like the first Prey. I didn't like the remake of it. I like the first Prey with the American Indian, and he got sucked into those friggin' spaceship. That was pretty good.
I can't get into the second Prey. It's not that it's fucking horrible. It makes
the
no
mimics
fucking
were
sense.
pretty cool concept though. Like it was a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was cool. But Frog, just before we come back to Xbox and all that other shit, and we're gonna talk about that stuff. But like the one thing I wanted to ask you while you're grinding your gears, give me the night off. Holy shit, Frog! Did you see the image of Uncharted the movie?
Oh my god! What a fucking piece of shit! What a fucking shit show! Yo,
Mark Wahlberg looks like Nathan Drake. What the hell is this casting?
Why the fuck is Mark Wahlberg casted as fucking?
Say hello to your mother for me.
Come on, look. Let me tell you something.
This is waste of time, dude. Waste of time. What is this shit?
Let me tell you, Mark Wahlberg is the wrong character for fucking Sully. Just fucking like when they do the Last of Us 2 movie or that Last of Us movie, and they cast the guy as fucking a Joel, that's gonna be a fucking shit show. They're casting the wrong fucking people. Look at that fucking shit. Where's his mustache?
They said they're going to CGI it on because he didn't want to have a fake mustache.
Oh, my God. Get the fuck out of here.
They're going to put a freaking shit stain on his lips.
Let me tell you something. I don't have anything personal against Mark Wahlberg, but let me tell you something. If you can't fucking grow a mustache, you don't need that fucking part. You need to be able to go fucking mustache.
He looks like Nathan Drake, though. Like, it looks like he looks like Nathan, not Sully.
Exactly. No, and then you.
He's all like fit and shit, like fucking like. Say hello to your mother for me.
Let me tell you something, Jez. You know what they did? They was like, hey, the British cocksucker costs less to play as fucking Nathan Drake. He'll take the job at less. A lot of these movies, if you haven't noticed, a lot of people haven't noticed, because I live in the continent of the United States, and I'm not saying it's the best. I'm not saying it's the great. What I'm saying is there are a lot of talented American actors that can do these parts, but they will go to their British counterparts that would do it cheaper, and they will put them in their roles. A lot of people don't know.
This does not look like Uncharted, dude. This looks so friggin' weird.
What's his name?
What is he wearing? He's not even wearing like a Nathan Drake outfit. Like, where's the gray pants, like the brown pants and shit? He looks like he's going to friggin' school.
What's his name?
They look like they're going to school. They look like they're going. Yeah, say hello to your mother for me. Get the bus. Martha, get over here, Martha.
Nathan Drake.
What?
What's his name? What's the actor's name? The actor's name.
Fucking Spider-Man. There he is.
Yeah, Spider-Man. But what I'm saying.
Oh, Todd Howard. Todd fucking Holland.
Todd Holland. Yeah, he's British. He's Todd Holland. Yeah.
Not Todd Howard.
British guy, right?
That would be a show right there. Todd Howard is Nathan Drake. He'd be bullshit everybody. He said, "Oh yeah, fuck. There's nothing here."
But what I'm saying is, like, a lot of times when they make these movies, they'll take these British counterparts, and they'll say, "Hey, you want to play this character?" And he'll do it for cheaper than somebody else will. Like, I don't know why Todd Holland is in this movie as fucking Nathan Drake. He's a skinny motherfucker.
I don't
why
understand.
Is he Nathan Drake?
But look at his outfit, though. He does. This does not look like Nathan Drake at all. And I looked at Mark Wahlberg's hair, and I'm like, Wahlberg looks like friggin' Nathan. Wahlberg doesn't look like Sully. He looks like Nathan. Maybe
Wahlberg didn't have the dynamic range they needed for fucking Nathan Drake. Maybe he could play a shallow character
he don't have
like
a friggin'
Sully.
mustache.
I don't fucking know. But you don't have a mustache, and if they CGI that shit, I'm not interested in this movie.
CGI his mustache on.
Yeah, they've been at CGIs. I don't fucking get this, man.
I don't understand.
I don't
dude.
get this.
Like, I do think the approach of making it a series on TV is better than a movie.
Wait. Hold on. Somebody said in the chat, "Hey, Ice noticed that Frog, that two Frog, they're getting foreigners to play for American roles." Let me tell you something. If you've never watched Key and Peele episode, there's an episode where they're in an alley and they get a British guy to play a gangster, but the American guy who's actually lived that gangster life and is playing and he's playing the gangster who really knows it, they don't give him any props. They give the British guy all the props. And I kind of say that to say this, like, there are a lot of movies we watch and we don't know that the actors or actresses are British. The freaking, what's that guy?
Why? Look what they did. Frog. Look what they did with what was the game? Wolf of Wall Street. What's her name? What's her name? She's Australian, isn't she? She's like Australian.
See what I'm saying? They don't. And
they got to play like a New Yorker, a girl from New York.
The reason they don't get Americans to play these roles is because we want too much.
Well, they got Mark Wahlberg. They got the star power. He's going to go Wahlburgers on their ass. He's going to give them friggin' Wahlburgers. He's going to be like, "Hey, you're Nathan. Let's go over here and get some burgers for my brother Donnie. Donnie, give me some Wahlburgers. There we are. Get to the car. Get to the car, Don. Get to the car. We got to get out of here. Get to the car."
Do you think, when you just look at this shot right here, do you think that Last of Us 2 is going to be a good TV series? I don't think so.
I don't think. Well, I think the girl that they casted as Ellie, that's pretty good.
The girl that's playing Ellie is a great. She's perfect. I think that who they're getting to play as Joel is. I mean,
he got the clout right now, dude, with the Mandalorian shit.
But my whole thing is he's not fucking Nathan Drake. There's so many people.
Nathan Drake. You say Nathan Drake?
Did you watch the movie? Did you watch the movie Greenland? It just came out on HBO Max, Greenland, where it's supposed to be apocalypse, comets hitting Earth.
No.
The guy who played the father in Greenland, he would have made a perfect Nathan Drake. There's so many people that could have made a better Nathan Drake. And it's about authenticity, right? It's like, look, if you're going to take this alternate path in this universe, and Nathan Drake is obviously going to be a Mexican guy, I think he's Mexican. Okay, great.
I got a comment, somebody in the chat, Immortal Black, he says, Jez is just an image. Hey, if reviewers can review games without finishing them, I can review a movie by just looking at the photo.
My whole thing is, and I've always looked at kind of things like, if you have something that has a history behind it, and then you have a meta, and you're like for instance, Superman. Superman has a lot of different paths. There's alternate universe. So Superman technically could be black. Superman could be a young kid. Superman could be so many different things, because when you read the comic book, there's an alternate universe. With Uncharted, there's just one Uncharted. There's one universe, and I think that you're fucking up. Same with The Last of Us. I think you're fucking up.
We'll see when there's an action. Especially the problem too, Frog, is that Nathan Drake, like they already did Nathan Fielder. Oh my God, here we go. So look at this. This bitch is Sully and Nathan. Like, look at these two. I don't give a shit if it's young Nathan or old Nathan. Like, dude, it looks like it's two images, Immortal.
Steve Buscemi as Nathan Drake. Hey, that's my boy right there. I love him. He's such a great actor.
Frog, look at the picture. Somebody put, how dare they remove the stash? They needed friggin' what's his name? Tom Selleck out there.
This is what I think, and this is why people don't take video game movies serious. Like, they very rarely do video game movies serious.
Dude, I'm gonna say Detective Pikachu was really good. Detective Pikachu was done well.
That was good.
I like that.
But my whole thing is like, for instance, I'm gonna give you an example.
What's another good movie?
Look, I'm gonna give you a jest. I'm gonna give you a perfect example why people who don't play video games but watch movies don't take the video game movie serious. Mortal Kombat started off so good. The new Mortal Kombat started off so good, and they fucked it up by putting a no-name person in there.
That was so disorienting to me. I did not realize it. I was trying to figure out the whole movie. I'm like, who is that guy? Who is he?
I was like, oh, that's Liu Kang. I was like, oh, that's Liu Kang.
I thought he was going to turn into Scorpio.
Dude,
he just turned out with he just had metal arms. I'm like, who's this dude? He had like a metal body.
Hey, shout out to the Coon. The Coon 85 said Superman can be transgender, a gay dude, aka Gay Ruda.
But the thing is, I didn't even know that I didn't even know. Like, first off, they should have done Mortal Kombat. They should have made that guy like DLC before the like done something with the game. Because I watched that movie. I'm like, the whole movie. I'm trying to figure out. I'm like, who's he gonna turn into? Who is he? Is he Liu Kang? Is he like Scorpion? I thought he was talking Scorpion.
Here's the problem with that movie. They rushed that movie.
Sonic was good. I thought Sonic was pretty good movie too.
Yeah, Sonic was good.
That's what it was. So Sonic and Detective Pikachu, I thought were pretty good.
You know what I feel like with that Mortal Kombat movie? They should have focused on Sub-Zero and Scorpion's story first, because there was so much backstory. It's like, okay, how did you?
Well, they're the main characters.
What did you? My whole thing is like that beginning sequence in Mortal Kombat. I was like, yo. That right there set the movie to be so great.
Yes, the beginning was good. That was pretty wild.
And then because it was like, yo, if they just stuck with Scorpion and Sub-Zero, and then they think about it, they didn't even fucking have a tournament. That movie was like,
they didn't even get to the tournament yet. Yo, look at this. Here's the Steven line. Look at this. These two dudes.
I just don't know, man. Video game movies don't translate.
Look at the fan made thing by Nathan Fillion. Like, look at this. Like, look at this. Like, this was like a.
Oh my god,
dude, this was like spot on. They should have just took this and made this a movie.
At this point, they might as well had Drake play Nathan Drake.
Come on. Well, they want a young one though.
Okay, but are we starting in the young Nathan Drake? Well, start with him as a kid and then build
Fillion and Tom Selleck. Oh man, that's pretty.
Dude, there's so many fucking people that could have paid Sully. Look at Tom Selleck, perfect Sully, that mustache. Tom Selleck is known for the mustache. Dude, he's known for the stash. I don't think I've ever seen him without a stash.
Yeah, man.
My whole thing is like, I think some of these movies, man, they pick really bad. You know why?
Chloe, wait till they do the girls. Like, what did they see? Like Chloe and stuff. They have like Chloe.
You know why they pick these actors? Just because they're hot on the scene right now. That's fake. And that's why people don't respect.
They took out. I think more people have a problem with Mark Wahlberg than like Mark Wahlberg looks like Nathan Drake.
I think Mark Wahlberg should have been Nathan Drake, and they should have picked a different Sully.
Like, this didn't look too bad. Just going over the last thing, you know, when they showed Tom Holland wearing the Nathan Drake traditional type outfit, like, I could see, all right, fine, like, this is not bad. I think that Mark Wahlberg as Sully is more messed up though. That's the thing. Like him, I can see. Maybe
I'm sorry, man. About my freaking Yorkie, man. My Yorkie has a barking problem. She just.
I didn't hear the Yorkie. But anyway, we're gonna get to the next topic.
Yeah,
We've been talking about too much for movies and shit like that. We got to get through this thing. I think we're just gonna go wild here. All right. Well,
look at that.
Holy
shit!
I didn't even see
man,
dude.
Oh my god.
All right,
man.
so.
I'm not looking forward to this movie.
Shout out to over 73 people watching. We have 80 in here. We got the dislike because Frog didn't like Sully, and we hit the like button. Everybody.
What's the next topic you're gonna hand me on a rant? What's the next
topic? I think we got a cool. Well, let me see. Where the hell's my friggin' thing? Holy crap,
shit, man!
Dude, I'm hitting the wrong buttons here. Hold on, I'm hitting the wrong shit here. I'm clicking all the stuff. There we go.
Don't snap on one of this Pornhub.
No, I don't have that. We don't have that stuff.
Never mind. You got little kids, so never mind.
No, I got so wait. So the main thing is I got to get the freaking topic list. God damn it. I got my topic list going on here. Shit. I'm all disoriented here. Here it is. Holy shit. All right, so the next thing, here we go. God of War PlayStation 5 only. There's rumor going around that God of War 2 is a PlayStation 5 only. That might be why it might be, we don't hear too much about it for this year. But that is something definitely that, it's going down. So, hey, if they make it PS5 only, that is awesome. God of War is the most incredible looking game on the PlayStation 4 still to this day. So, if they have more power and could just make it exclusive, and not worry about making, downsampling or doing any other shit for the older PlayStation, then fine. Hope to see more about it. Yeah.
I agree with you, but there's a caveat to it.
Yeah, what's that?
I think God of War, the next God of War Ragnarok being on PlayStation 5 only is a good thing. But Sony has to figure out, and I'm pretty sure they won't be able to do it till next year. They got to figure out a way to push more consoles out, because we know if God of War is PlayStation 5 only, and around Christmas time, let's just say this game comes out of Christmas, which I don't think it's coming out until next year in March. Well, let's just say
March next year, yeah.
And whenever God of War comes out, PlayStation 5s won't be on the shelves. Everybody that wants a PlayStation 5 is going to go and buy a PlayStation 5. You're not going to be able to find a PS5 because it's such a big franchise that Sony has to know that whenever and if they're smart, and I'm pretty sure they're smart, right? They're this company and they have some billions. So I would think that Sony would be smart enough to know that whenever we push a God of War, a major title like a God of War or an Uncharted game or whatever, something a big franchise like that out,
Yeah.
we have to be able to have supply and demand for stock of consoles.
Of course,
because
yeah.
they're one for one. When people pick up a PS5, they're gonna pick up God of War also.
Oh, Glinza says PS5 Ragnarok bundle. Hell yeah, with the panels.
Yeah. And to me, look, this is Sony has a couple opportunities
Now we're cooking.
here, and I know Sony is looking at doing custom plates for their PS5. I know that's a thing. I know they're looking at doing that because there's so many other companies now that they're just doing it and getting away with doing it. So if I'm Sony, I'm looking from a business standpoint of saying we need to push this game out when we can have the supply and demand there for consoles, because people who already have PS5s are obviously going to get it.
Yeah.
So those close to 10 million people that have consoles are going to get it.
Yeah, but you know what else too? It's like if you think about it, the look how much Spider-Man Miles Morales seems to be incrementally selling with the PlayStation 5 stock increasing. So like even though it's a cross-gen game, it's associated with the next gen. So I'm saying, like, I'm even thinking it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to keep Horizon Zero Dawn, Horizon, the second one, Forbidden West, on both of them, like they said, cross-gen. I think just to kind of close the chapter of Horizon on the old one.
I
would love for them just to nix it and just make it only PS5 and go all out, because I really don't care about the old version of it. But
do you
if
think
that
God of War is coming out this year?
I don't think so. I think we're going to see E3, and that was one of the major topics that I had on here, which actually I didn't have it on here, but it was... what I wanted to do is, we're going to go right to the Grindstable real quick. It's not going to be a long thing because we pretty much went on a whole friggin' Rog went on his total rant. No problem.
I freaking went on that rant, man.
No problem. We're just going to do the Grindstable. I got a couple more topics. Let's make it hot right now. Hold on.
I don't want to be upset. I wonder how PlayStation 5 versus Xbox. This is Xbox Series, man. I wonder if it's going to sell because it's not a Game Pass. I wonder if it's going to sell. I was big with PlayStation, but maybe review scores hurt that game sales.
We will see.
We'll see.
Well, the thing is now...
I'm hoping people support that game.
Yeah, we'll see the buy me. It looks really cool. So for the last couple topics, the sales of the PlayStation 5, 2-to-1 GameStop has been reporting for that. And then also the next-gen features. I don't know if we'll get to that topic. I might just save that for next week, just talking more about features. And because I feel like, there's like a laundry list of Xbox features, like, the resume and all that other stuff. And, the share play and the sharing screen and stuff, like Sony has theirs as well. And, I do think that each one has its cool features and stuff like that. But it just, again, I just feel that, Microsoft really needs to show some games. Like the feature stuff can only go so far, and the fact that they're banking on E3 yet again. I know I complained about this last week with J-Dubs. The fact that they're not showing little videos here and there.
Somebody said I had too many wine coolers.
Jesus. I was the one who got the drink, though. It's funny. But, yeah, so, like, the thing is we're going to go – I'm going to talk about the topics here with the 2.1, and then we're going to talk about the last thing is the Square Enix stuff, talking about exclusive games.
Oh, shit.
Dude.
Yes.
Yeah, so we're at the Grindstable right now. The topic is here. PS5 is estimated to have doubled Xbox Series X sales during Q1 2021. This is and also, too, the Switch, which is the unsung hero here, almost sold as many as twice as the PlayStation 5. It shows you how crazy the Switch is.
The Switch is fucking, dude, I'm going to tell you what, that is a phenom. Like,
and when they do the Pro, when they do the Switch Pro, that might come out later this year.
If Microsoft needs to be scared of anybody in Sony, it needs to be Nintendo, because if they do a Switch Pro, and let's just say they say $399, which I think $399 is pretty. Dude,
the thing is that it comes down to the games. But just think about a world where.
But Nintendo, man, this year I don't think they produced. But Nintendo, dude, they still got that Zelda. They still got that.
Oh, they're gonna drop a. The friggin'
I'ma
Switch
tell you,
Pro with
you know,
Zelda Breath of the Wild 2.
Jazz.
Holy shit.
Let me tell you something. You know what would blow the Switch Pro up, and I honestly believe like this is the one
xCloud.
thing that
What?
would make. No. Any kind of achievement or trophies kind of feature on there would really set that system on fire. I think that Nintendo.
They don't give a shit.
I don't
They
know
got the Nintendo.
I don't think they give a shit. But what I still think is still think that people do want that feature on Nintendo. I think Nintendo's looking at doing that. I think they will do that.
But when you look at it, the PlayStation and Xbox both share similar libraries of third-party games.
Yes.
Where the Switch still, to this day, really it got better, but it still doesn't have the library of games third-party wise that the Xbox and the PlayStation have. Now the Pro might make that happen, there's more games on there, but still I think the Switch is just its own being. And you know, if I was smart, if I was Sony and Xbox, you would be trying to get those people on the Switch to kind of migrate. Now when you grow up, you're gonna come and get one of these and kind of use the Switch as like the farm group. You know what I mean? Like those are the young. Hey, that's the future. Let's start. You know, getting those guys, and that's why I can see like xCloud and all that other shit going on the Switch would be smart. But Nintendo don't need the cloud. Like they don't need xCloud at all. Nobody's begging for Gears of War on goddamn Switch.
Man. Nintendo don't even need third party.
They don't need it because they got their games,
proven.
Dude. They got their own games, and they have that Disney kind of thing where everybody just gets their games. They have that nostalgia, and that's it. They're self-sufficient, and they will grow. And their parents.
What's up, Chris?
Yo, what's up, man? But Nintendo just has their audience, and they keep growing and stuff. What's up, man? How you doing? He heard that Final Fantasy topic. We're gonna get into that. But Chris, what do you think? I don't think this is a surprise though. But Xbox. The rumor, not the rumor, but the research is showing that the PS5 almost doubled it already in quarter.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, we already knew that it was going to happen.
Surprising.
Analysts has been predicting the PlayStation brand is too strong worldwide. It's coming off the extremely successful PlayStation 4, and the demand and supply, or the demand, it seems to be a lot higher than what the PS4 was, at least when it first launched. So, I mean, there's no surprise. That's why anybody thinking that, that's why Microsoft has to do a lot of these goodwill things or things that are perceived as goodwills or whatever.
Agree.
But nobody should be surprised at this. I mean, Sony at this point, Sony can't be stopped unless they do something severely fucked up that's even worse than like the PS3. But that's not going to happen.
No, it's not.
Sony is never going to do that again. Some people are trying to make PlayStation look bad because it doesn't have, which I don't believe this, but it doesn't have a service like Game Pass, which it has PS Now. But obviously Game Pass being the more expensive service, obviously needs to be better. PS Now is $60. Game Pass at a minimum is $120. So obviously it has to be a better service because it's more expensive.
It has to be.
But
Agree.
People look at that and they try to knock PlayStation off of it, or they try to knock that since Xbox has a more feature-rich backwards compatibility where they can get more out of the backwards compatible games than PlayStation right now currently. People try to make that but that's not going to matter because once or these cross-gen games or anything like that, because once all these publishers and developers go into next gen only and they leave the old gen behind, like all this cross-gen backwards compatible talk, that shit's gonna go away. It's relevant for the first year, maybe the first 2 years.
Transition period, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the transition period, that's when it's really relevant. But after that, it's just, what are you gonna have now? And then seeing how most of their big hitters are years away, right? At least some of the ones that I'm looking forward to, like Fable, Avowed, or whatever, are years away. Meanwhile, we got Ratchet & Clank coming next month. We still got Horizon Forbidden West confirmed to be out this year. God of War Ragnarok probably going to be out early next year sometime. We got the Final Fantasy exclusives.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that.
You know what I mean? There's just so much high-quality content after content after content that Sony is dropping, all while the pandemic's happening, and Sony has less studios than Microsoft. but it's producing more games even with the same situation.
How? This is the
don't
thing
know
where
how
I
they're
don't
doing
understand,
it.
because I'm already seeing, and this is something where I'm already seeing the COVID excuses. Well, this E3, and they started with the whole Starfield.
At
It's
this
like,
point, we can't blame it on that anymore.
I know it
We have
exists.
to
I know
get-
people are struggling,
it exists,
but
we can't blame it on that anymore.
But
We can't keep
you
using
don't
that
know.
excuse.
Like, we don't know the internals, like who had to work from home. And I'm not saying that these struggles did not exist. But the thing is that as a consumer who bought a product, how the hell is everybody else seems to be dropping games, but only Xbox is lying on the excuse of COVID, which is hilarious because last year when COVID started, Sony was afraid of the 12 teraflops that Phil Spencer was whipping out of his pants and didn't go to PAX East because they were afraid of COVID. They were afraid of Phil. They were afraid of the Xbox. And meanwhile, Sony's the one that's now prepared and Xbox is the one that's struggling. Meanwhile, Phil flew everybody out, fed them cereal, played with the magnets, put together the Series X. The Jason Ronald let them tie little zip ties to his beard and play with them, and it was a wonderful time, dude. They played with his beard, they rolled it up, they split it, they braided it for him. It was fun. All the Digital Foundry guys loved it, and they got to play with the Xbox. Sony was afraid. We haven't seen a dev kit for the Xbox, the PlayStation 5. They're not prepared. Microsoft's prepared. And now you hear a year later from this whole pandemic, and Microsoft's the one going, yeah, we told you 3 years ago we're waiting for next gen. Well, next gen's here. It's going to be about another 2 to 3 years. Who's jerking my chain here?
This generation is very much like last generation. Microsoft, this generation, tried to do the shock and awe when they showed their console at the Game Awards. Sony said, hey, we're going to do a conference. And when they did their conference, what we saw, we didn't expect, and we didn't expect 2 SKUs of a digital and a hard. I think that Sony was like, okay, do your whole shock and awe thing. And people were like, oh, we're so impressed. You got a trash can. And then, PlayStation 5 comes and they do their whole presentation, and we're like, oh, shit.
Yes.
That's different.
Dude, that July
And
show
then
was
they're like,
friggin' kick-ass.
Look, we're like, that's different. And then they show, oh, yeah, by the way, here's one for $3.99. Holy shit. You know, and it was like, oh, that's a shock and awe. Like,
we didn't have code names for 2 years before it.
No, there were no.
Dude.
Yeah, and I think that
we didn't see microchips in Phil Spencer's mouth and Major Nelson eating microchips for a year before that either. We didn't see any of that stuff.
We're in a console generation once again. And I'm gonna be honest, I kind of look at this generation right now. It's going into, and I think the defining difference is going to be Microsoft's Game Pass and the games they can put in their exclusive. It's not going to really be the third-party games to a certain extent, maybe, but I think it's going to be really how the quality of their first-party games. Because when I look at this generation, just the start of it, I'm like, we're going back into another PS2 generation where this PS5 is gonna be like a PS2 versus their, maybe not the original Xbox, but maybe the Xbox One again.
It was funny because I was thinking that too. Like, it kind of reminds me of back when Xbox was trying to prove itself, and like Sony was just there with the PS2. Nintendo, was fluttering around with the N64 and the GameCube, really not there with it like they are now with dominating. This is almost like a Wii with a PlayStation 2. Like, you got a Wii and a PlayStation 2 out there. And Xbox is trying to prove itself. See, Xbox was able to climb in a little bit, I think, because Nintendo dropped the ball a little bit with the GameCube and the N64. They had great games, but Nintendo was still trying to find its way, and then got it with the Wii. And now they kind of said Wii 60, if you remember those terms back in the day. It's like, just get a Wii and a 360.
I remember that, right.
But Xbox was, the OG Xbox was trying to find its way there, and I do think that it was able to climb in there because Nintendo dropped its guard. But now, you got Nintendo flying higher, bigger than the Wii. You got PlayStation going beyond PlayStation 2 and trying to beat its PlayStation 4. And you got Xbox trying to find its way again. I just think that these two titans up there, this is where I mean, like, about timing. When you look at this, 2-1, when we look at the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, as bad as the marketing that Xbox One had, it still didn't really get that break. PlayStation really didn't have that breakaway until like a year or two after the Xbox One launched. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't this quick. And you're looking now in the first quarter of these systems are out for 6 months, and it's already doubling it. And I know people will say, well, stock is low and stuff, which I think is hilarious because I thought both of them will just be undersold, but PlayStation's actually outselling the PS4 with these constrictions. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Well, another thing, and somebody said it. I saw somebody on Twitter. They made a good point. They were like, the reason that PS5 is selling so well is because of the success of the PlayStation 4. I do think that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But I think the reason it is being so successful is because the PS4 came in. It was such a well-developed and designed system compared to what Xbox does. And not only that, it had the games. And going from this generation, they didn't do a PS3 where they were like, we're going to create a whole new architecture. If they Sony had did that, they would have crushed themselves. And I think that's the problem you had going from, PS2 to PS3. They were like, we're going to just create this because, a lot of people don't understand, and maybe a lot of people don't know, they were too young enough to know this, but like the PS3 was just supposed to basically be a more powerful PS2. When they first developed the PS3, all they wanted is a more powerful PS2 to make a PS3. And it was going to so it would have probably been better if they did that than do that whole freaking crazy, let's do this cell processor and all that. And maybe we would have got backward compatibility, which to this day, I think backward compatibility is a cool feature. I think that it's cool. And I think for Sony, because they have such a huge library, it'd be great if they could find a way to do it. But I don't think it's the breaking factor in owning a PlayStation 5 or Xbox. I think at the time, the games that are coming out now, whether they're last gen or current gen, really matter. And the success and the games that are really only on that console, you can only play on it, that really matters more than anything. I think that's why Nintendo Switch sells so well, because if you just look at their first party titles, they basically sell one for one with their systems. Zelda's and the Mario Kart. Mario Kart came out on Wii U, and it freaking just came out on the Switch again, and it freaking still sold. It's still. I think Mario Kart's still in the top freaking 10 best-selling games every month.
It's
and I'm
insane.
like, holy
Nintendo's.
shit.
That's what I mean. Nintendo's in its own world. But the thing is like when you look at Nintendo,
it's like it's different.
And you look at Nintendo and look at Sony and how the rate that they're selling. How can you sit here, and this is the issue that I have. How can you stay here and say Xbox is still going to be competitive in 2 years when they start putting games out? And that's if those games are successful and if those games are good, which we don't know. Look at how look at how Naughty Dog with Nathan Drake, like with the first Uncharted, like it wasn't the success that Uncharted 2 was. So it's just gonna be like, well, Perfect Dark 1, it's initiative just getting their feet wet, After in 2024, we're all here on a podcast going like, well, hearing Xbox podcast defending, they just didn't new. They had some turnover in the beginning with Drew Murray leaving, and this is the first Perfect Dark. They're just getting their feet wet. You imagine waiting since 2018, and then here in Perfect Dark in 2020, and then 2023, the game comes out, and you caught going, maybe Perfect Dark 2 will improve. Another 3-4 years from now.
Jerry,
crazy.
I think with Microsoft,
they don't have the time, dude. They don't have the time. Nintendo and Sony are just going to blow them out of the water. That I don't think they have a time.
What I'll say. Microsoft has achieved one thing going into this generation, this current generation we're in. They've achieved the two words that matter the most to them right now, Game Pass. I think they've achieved that. People, every time you associate Xbox, you want to associate Game Pass with
that's their plan.
That was their goal. They achieved that. And they are getting some third-party games there.
Which is good, but they stopped in May. Last month was pretty good. It was really good. I thought that was how they're going to keep moving, dude.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't the new Dungeons and Dragons game, it's coming to Game Pass, which I'm kind of like, that's cool. That's not a problem. But I think there again the third-party games coming there, unless it's games like a Call of Duty, a Madden, a 2K, which are, these games sell big
day and
every year.
Yeah.
A Grand Theft Auto. Those it won't matter to a certain extent. I think what it matters is, at the bare minimum, that you say, hey, not only is our Halo and our Gears coming there, but hey, Call of Duty is there now, and our Madden's there, and because it got EA in there, and I think EA was a great fit for them because a lot of the games they put in there are pretty old games. People who played them, and they like either you haven't played it and you don't care about it, or they're super old games. So EA, I think them having backward compatibility, that helped, because if there was no backward compatibility with their 360, how many EA games would really be like a treasure trove,
I know.
to have in there?
I was gonna say, I think the people who say like, well, the PS5 is only success because their PS4 did so well.
Yeah.
People need to learn their history. All right, like PlayStation
exactly.
has been dominating since the first
Wasn't
console.
that Dustin
100 million-
Laguerre? Like he said
First
that. didn't he?
console, 100 million out the gate, right?
Yes.
First console, 100 million out the gate. Second console, 150 million, right?
Yes.
The third console, they shot themselves in the foot. They handicapped themselves for the first 3 years. But guess what? At the end of it, they still ended up selling 90 million, close to it.
There
and then
you
the
go.
PS4 is at 120 million. So it's like, when people say that, they tend to forget, like, yo, PlayStation has been doing this. The brand is stronger than ever. It is a momentum that's not going to stop. It's not going to stop anytime soon. As long as they keep this momentum up and they don't have any major fuck up, which they're not. They're not having any major fuck up.
No,
totally
man, they're
agree.
delivering.
Like,
Yeah, we thought it was gonna be a slow start, right? Like, yeah, they did Last of Us 2, we did Ghost of Tsushima, and we kind of didn't know what Sony was gonna do. They were quiet, and then they dropped like, hey, here's a Miles Morales, here's a Demon's Souls, here's a Ratchet and Clank, here's a Destruction All Stars, here's Returnal.
it's Returnal,
Dude, 6 months, and now what Chris is hyped for. Chris,
that's
is
pretty
there
good.
gonna be another Final Fantasy? Is there gonna be one?
Yes,
These rumors,
sir.
dude. So
Yes, sir.
we got Final Fantasy remake. What is it? The Re 7. What is it? Reintegrate, right? That's coming out June.
I can't wait for that. Ooh,
Dude, I can't wait. I gotta
yeah.
finish it too. That's what I'm waiting for. So I'm waiting for that to finish that. We got that. Final Fantasy 16 exclusive. That's already confirmed. That was in their state of play
There you
type
go.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now there's a rumor going around.
Oh, hold on. Oh, you're missing one more, too.
Oh shit!
Final,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 14 is also a console exclusive.
That's
for
been
PlayStation.
one, right? And they
MMO.
just did a PS5
Yeah.
upgrade to that too. That's the service one, right?
Yeah, which I started playing last night, actually. I literally just
How
started
is
last
it?
night.
Have you ever played it?
Oh,
before?
yeah. I played it a couple years ago.
It's an MMO,
I didn't
right?
really... Yeah, it's an MMO. I didn't really get... Because the MMO is not my thing, but with all the improvements, and then everybody... that fan base is so fucking passionate, man. And everything I hear about the game as far as, like the main part of the game, like the beginning of the game is usually like the slowest or whatever. But once you start getting into expansions, everybody... The main thing I hear about, like, the story is amazing. That even though it's an MMO, the story plays like a single player game, right?
Really?
Set in like an
That's
MMO
cool.
world. Yeah, like the last expansion got a 91 on Metacritic. You know, so
Damn.
it's been
That game's
really,
been on.
really blowing up.
Has that been since the PS3? That game?
Yeah, it's been on system. I don't know if it's still available on the PS3 though. I don't
Dude,
know,
know
but
what?
it
I
is.
remember playing Final Fantasy. I don't know if it was was this the first online Final Fantasy or Final Fantasy 11?
No, 11.
11.
Was.
I played
Yeah.
the beta of Final Fantasy 11 on Xbox. I remember that Xbox had a Final Fantasy online beta.
Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
And I never finished playing it after that. But you needed an additional
So
subscription.
it was on the PS2. Yeah, it
and
was on the
fi-
PS2 first.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes,
It was on the
came
P-
off of
it was on the PS2 and PC first. The PS2 you needed like a network
modem.
adapter.
Yeah, the
and a
modem
hard,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
you need a hard drive or whatever. And then
Right.
later it came to the Xbox.
and you had to pay extra in addition to
Yeah.
Xbox Live to play that. Where PlayStation, you just had to pay their fee. You didn't have to pay because it was free
it was
online.
free at the time.
Online. I remember that was a big thing with the PS3 and the Xbox OG. But I remember Final Fantasy 14 when crossplay. You funny you bring this up when crossplay was a big thing, or when Phil said that he was looking for. You remember the quotes? Phil's like, "Oh, now Final Fantasy 14 could come to Xbox." You know, when he was talking about crossplay with PC and all that other shit, because that was the main reason why Xbox supposedly said they didn't do Final Fantasy 14 is because they allowed crossplay between the PlayStation and PC. Well, Microsoft didn't do that yet. And I remember when he started dropping the ball on like crossplay is going to be a thing on Xbox. Phil was like, well, now I'm going to talk about Final Fantasy 14. Yeah, that was another Philness quote, probably from, I think it was from 2015, 2016, when he was hyping the whole PC's Xbox PC. He hyped up that he was going to bring Final Fantasy over. Well, hey, Phil, it's been 6 fucking years now, so he's still doing it.
It's not coming. It's not coming.
It's not
at this point
coming.
because
Wait, I'll go grab a Grindhouse. Hold on.
They gave an
Yeah, Chris.
update. No, I said they gave an update earlier this year when people asked, because when the new expansion got announced or whatever, people asked, well, is this game going to come to Xbox? Because about 2 years ago, I think they said that it was coming to Xbox, but then they confirmed that it's like, yo, they have no plans on because they don't have time or resources to port it to another platform, which we know that's bullshit. Square Enix
they made the PS5
definitely
version.
Square Enix definitely has the time and the resources, but I think another deal was set in place that it's just forever going to be a PlayStation console exclusive and on PC, of course.
Wait, you want to see this thing? Yeah, because they already made the PS5 version of it too.
Yeah, they already made the PS5 version, and the PS5 version of it. They have DualSense feature now where it's like Astrobot where you can feel the footsteps, and then you go on different surfaces. Yeah, you go on different surfaces, and you feel the wood surface, you feel like the rocky surface, and
that's cool.
So it has that right now. But yo, if y'all want to, so the new game, right?
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, it actually happened at XO19 where Phil, this was, I remember he talked about it first, but then Phil was like, the Final Fantasy director, this is so funny, the Final Fantasy director said that Microsoft was holding up MMO crossplay, and that was the complaint back in the early days of this thing. And then they started bringing that down, and it was like in 2019, Phil was like, we could bring it back over here, we could bring Final Fantasy 14 is finally coming to look at this shit.
Yeah, okay, so originally it was because of the crossplay, and then after that it was because since they made the game, the base game, like A Realm Reborn, right? The base game, they made that free to play. That part free to play, and then once you go to the expansion, then that's when you got to pay I think it's like $10 or $15 a month or whatever. But they didn't want to add that fee on top of Microsoft charging for Xbox Live to pay for the game.
So maybe now
they didn't because right now, like on the PlayStation, you don't need PS Plus to play the free.
No, you just got to pay the fee. Yeah.
You just got, once you get past I think it's free up until level 60 and the first expansion. Once you get past those, then you pay the reoccurring monthly fee or whatever if you want to.
Yeah. So. Here's your Philness right here. The astute people out there have noticed that one of Final Fantasy's missing games is number 14, and feels like 14 is one I've been dedicated to, working with director Yoshida-san to find a solution and bring that game to Xbox. While it's not in the news today, I wanted to let you know, rest assured, we'll be bringing that game to Xbox. We will be bringing.
When?
He said this in 2019.
See, this is why I don't fuck with Xbox. They always say shit.
Dude.
Look, man. They freaking just
bullshit.
I just look at them and I'm like, man, I have nothing but just wow. You guys.
Dude, the guy talks out his ass. They're bringing it. So, and no update. He makes these statements and it's just so guess what? So did they show it at a Series X show and the next year? No, they didn't. Did they even mention this at all? Nope.
Phil doesn't even talk out his ass.
Dude, I never know what they was talking about. That's some Philness right there. There you go.
He fucking whispers through glory holes at fucking Xbox fanboys. Come here. I got a new game for you. It's
Uh-oh, we're gonna hit the sirens. Frog's getting ready again. Oh shit, there he goes.
All about it.
Mute him.
Mute him. Fuck, man.
Oh, there he goes again. Frog's on a rant.
I don't understand it, man. I can't see how since 2013 anybody who is a primary Xbox guy can look at that console and
dude, you can find quotes all over the goddamn place in Phil.
Look at the fucking disaster it's been and really sit there and act like it's gonna fucking turn around. It's been too long. It's been almost fucking 10 years.
I think he even mentioned
it's not turning around. It's not turning around. It's not gonna turn around. You may get some good games. Be happy for the shit you have and your Game Pass subscription that they fucking dick you into having. Just be happy about that. Other than that, don't think that shit's gonna turn around and you're gonna be the best fucking shit on the block. You're not.
There's a lot to prove.
Just beware in the next 10 years, Xbox will be a service. That's what they want it to be. You'll buy a little box, little fucking Fire Stick, Xbox fucking Phil Spencer glory hole Fire Stick. You're playing on your TV and that's what you're playing. That's
Pause. Holy shit.
Yeah, I don't want not to get back off topic, but
hey, Final Fantasy, dude.
The final,
hey. So what's going on with this Final Fantasy?
Okay,
Frog.
So let me break it down. So the rumor came from I forgot. Yeah,
I'm Ran Khan. I'm Ran Khan.
No. Even before that.
Oh, before that. Even Amran Khan's name sounds like a friggin' boss fight or a Mortal Kombat character.
Yeah, no, because a couple of days before, a known leaker who's extremely has been extremely accurate in regards to like a lot of Square Enix businesses and games and stuff like that. Like he leaked the Final Fantasy Intergrade. He leaked other stuff before that, or that Final Fantasy VII Remake was going to be shown before it was shown, right, and stuff like that. So he came out and said that that supposedly Square Enix has another Final Fantasy game in development that's different from the rest. It's going to be a spin-off, and it's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive, and it's possibly going to be shown at E3.
It says right here.
Right? So people were speculating what type of game it is, blah, blah, blah. And then, long story short, article came out today confirmed by Imran Khan, who's also a well-known, journalist in the industry, who's who's an insider or whatever. Yeah, so supposedly it's supposed to be a game, a Final Fantasy spin-off game, supposedly called Final Fantasy Origin. Some people are speculating that could be just a code name for it, that might not be the final name. That could be just a code name or a project name or whatever, right? But it's supposedly being developed by Team Ninja, who made the Ninja Gaiden games. They made the Neo games, and they also worked on the Final Fantasy fighting game, Dissidia.
Yes,
right?
Dissidia. Yes, I tried
Dissidia.
Yes, that's the fighting
Team Ninja
game.
also made that game. So this
Whatever your name is.
Oh, new subscriber! We got a new sub. What is this?
This isn't the first time Team Ninja.
Team Laquifa. Thank you for the sub.
Has worked together. So what I'm very interested, because they're saying it's going to be similar to like a Soul style of game, but it's going to be more accessible, which to me it means that it's going to be more along the lines of Jedi Fallen Order, which is like a Souls game, but it's accessible to a lot of people because it has a difficulty setting. You know what I mean? There's an easy, normal, and a hard mode and stuff like that. So the name implies that supposedly it's going to be taking place in the original Final Fantasy, like Final Fantasy 1 world.
Ooh.
Some people are speculating, is it a remake or a retelling?
I want
don't
that
know
combat, dude, from Ninja Gaiden.
If it's whatever, but I am excited if it's like a Neo style combat set in the Final Fantasy
I'll be happy
universe. That fucking tickle, because I love Ninja Gaiden. Like I've always been saying, I love Ninja Gaiden since day one.
Yes.
Like Ninja Gaiden 1 Black on the Xbox and Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2 on the PS3. I bought both Neo games, right? Day one, both of them.
Same here.
Day one, digitally, full price. Like, you know what I mean? So, and I really love those games. Like, I love both of those games.
All right, I'm gonna, Chris, I'm gonna wet the noodle here. Hear this, ready?
Whatever your name is.
Oh, another sub! Holy shit!
Surprise.
WYFB crew! Welcome to the Grindhouse. Holy shit, I got Arnold yelling on my freaking ear, scaring the shit out of me. Thank you for the new subs. Jesus. Thank you again. And thank you to Teen Laquifa. Thank you again for the sub. Oh my god, this is awesome. No, right here, this, ready? I'm gonna say they're gonna do the Days of Play, right? It's coming up. They already started showing the stuff. Neo 1 and 2 was in there. Hint, hint, hint. Maybe they got some announcement from Tecmo, and then they got Neo in there.
Well, the director at Team Ninjas have been saying since like last year that they were working on a PS5 game. So it makes sense now that, you know, that this will be the game that they're working on, since them and Square has worked together. Obviously, PlayStation has Final Fantasy on. PlayStation, they want to make sure that PlayStation is the home of Final Fantasy. Like, if you a Final Fantasy fan, which Final Fantasy is having a huge comeback and resurgence right now with 7 Remake, with FF14. FF16 looks fucking amazing. And then now this game.
Hey,
they got FF16.
Microsoft got Bethesda. Final Fantasy, Sony's grabbing
Final Fantasy Remake. Yeah, Final Fantasy Remake Part 2. I guarantee that's a PS5 exclusive.
Yeah, Chris,
guarantee.
I was going to say something, Chris. The only thing right now that Square could do to really just. I'm pretty happy with what they're doing. The only thing they could really do right now to make me happy is give me a Final Fantasy 13 remaster on my PS5 because we don't have. They did
Oh
Xbox.
shit!
The Xbox Series X got the 4K version, but
Yeah.
PlayStation 4 never got. So I'll just take give me that freaking.
They could do a Final Fantasy 13. Well, if they do it, they have to do the trilogy. They have to do the entire trilogy.
But Frog, they already got it in the thing, right? They got it in the PS Plus thing.
I had a lot of problems with 13. I personally didn't like 13.
Oh
but
no, really?
No, I didn't. Most Final Fantasy fans
they
don't
fixed
like
the combat, dude.
No,
13 too.
The story was cool.
No, okay, but listen, but I have a lot of issues. I mean, but that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But I had a lot of, but that was me back then because I had very high expectations for Final Fantasy.
Was it the battle system you didn't like? What was it?
No, I liked the battle
system was good. I like the battle system.
I didn't like how extremely linear it was.
Yes, it didn't open up until like 10 hours in.
I didn't like the way the story was told, and the linearity is not it should be because majority of Final Fantasy are linear. I mean, pretty much every Final Fantasy is linear except like 15, right? But it's the way they structured it because Final Fantasy 7 Remake is linear, but it doesn't feel like that because how it's structured. Because how it's structured and stuff like that. But another thing I want to say in regarding to this rumor. Supposedly, they're gonna have a demo or an alpha test demo, which for me, that implies right because Team Ninja has done this with Neo 1, and they did it with Neo 2. So to me, this is implying that the game is going to have some type of online functionality. So if we get a Souls-like Final Fantasy game with co-op. Like we had in Neo or another.
You're not gonna see Chris for a friggin' year.
Amazing.
Chris is gone.
Yeah,
he's gone.
I'm gone.
Dude, no, that's
if it's a co-op Final Fantasy that's similar to Neo, that shit would be amazing.
Neo's one of those games that I was like, damn, man, if you don't have a PlayStation and you can play this somewhere, and then it came out the PC version, and I have Neo 2. Me and my son were supposed to be playing together because we kind of Neo to me.
Well, Neo 2 is online, doesn't it?
Game.
It has. Neo 2 okay, so Neo 1 and 2 both have online co-op, right? Neo 1 had PvP that they added after the game launched.
They added after,
but but they didn't put it back in Neo 2 because Neo 1's PvP was broken as fuck and it was super imbalanced. It was super fucking broken, dog. Like it wasn't as balanced as the Souls games. And the Souls games
destroy you.
Yeah,
I haven't. You know what? I haven't played the Neo games, but is their combat similar to a Ninja Gaiden? Like, is it slower?
It's more like a Souls game.
No,
I know it's like a Souls game, but it's not as fast as Ninja Gaiden now.
No.
It's a hybrid.
No, it's faster. It's okay. So it's a lot faster than the Souls games, and it's more intricate than the Souls game. It has a lot more mechanics because you have 3 different stances with each weapons.
Okay, All right.
Yeah, then there's stance switches. You have a light and a heavy attack that you can learn more moves, unlock more moves, and you can combo into them and stuff like that. So it's a lot more. There's more mechanics and more things to do in the Neo games as opposed to like the Souls games.
So, I want to ask you a question, Chris. Since you have the Final Fantasy background here, if they do a Final Fantasy Origin, are they going back to like Final Fantasy pre-3, like one? They're going back to 1.
Yeah, they're going back.
You mean the one like on the NES? Like that's what they're saying here. Like you mean those characters?
We don't know, but that's kind of what like the name is kind of implying. That maybe we get like some type of retelling or like a reboot or reimagining of the first Final Fantasy. You mean I'm going to fight Kefka? Am I going to fight Kefka? No, Kefka's 6.
No,
it's Final Fantasy 3. Well, it's my Final Fantasy 3 on the NES.
It was 3 in America, but
I'm American, so I played 3. I know it's 6.
Yeah.
But Kefka, battle.
Final Fantasy 1 had I think his name was like Val Garland or some shit like that, and like Chaos and shit.
I gotta go to my retro console for that one. Yeah, I only played Final Fantasy 3 was my first Final Fantasy. Was the one with the Moguls and Kefka. My God, I never forget it. Oh, to this day, I know the boss of that goddamn game. It's that one, 7, and that's it. Like those are the two. The Final Fantasy 3 and Final Fantasy 7. Those are the two for me. That that was about it. That 8, I played like halfway through. I really didn't push through 8. But like and then even one of the lightning and stuff. Like I did like the combat with the build up, and then you had that ultra and stuff. But I never really went to. And 15, I just dudes in the car. I just couldn't really get into 15. I like the combat though.
I played
so I'm more inclined to think that the title Final Fantasy Origin.
It could be anything, right?
It's probably not going to be the name for it because on the PS1 there was already a collection of it was Final Fantasy 1 and 2, right? Put on one disc for the PS1, and it was called Final Fantasy Origins. You can look that up. It was called Final Fantasy. So I don't know if they will go from Final Fantasy Origins and they call it Final. I mean, they could. I mean, that's probably the name. I don't know.
Knew about that. You definitely.
No, yeah, because they had that, and then you remember also they had Final Fantasy Chronicles, which had which had Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy 4.
Yes.
So
dude, just taking the Final Fantasy and going this route, and knowing that they're also gonna be having the Final Fantasy 16, which that looks awesome. 16 looks freaking crazy what they showed.
Final Fantasy 16 is going to be the first mainline mature rated Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get the clip of Final Fantasy.
So they're like Square Enix is really competing with like The Witcher 3 and shit like that. With Final Fantasy 16.
The rumor has been, I don't know if you guys heard this rumor because we hear rumors in game. The rumor has been that Sony is very close. They're very closely aligned with Square Enix because a long bit ago, when Square Enix wasn't doing so hot, Sony had a lot of stock in them, and when they started pulling out, Sony sold all their stock back to them and said Square Enix said they'll never forget that. And Sony and them are really close.
They're real buddy.
So
exactly.
Would it be something to say? Let's just say this. Would it be good for the industry if let's just say the Bethesda, the more American Western
Sony buys Square Enix.
Right. Let's just say the Bethesda American style RPGs are on Xbox, and the JRPG,
the Chocobo fight. It's crazy.
And that kind of model is on PlayStation. I think that would be a good outcome because I think it's the best of two worlds. Because you have to, in that sense, if the games are good, you kind of have to go out there and buy two consoles. But I think that I agree with you. Like Square Enix has made a comeback. They got a new engine, same as Capcom. Capcom is
with the RE, you're right? Yeah,
they got. I'm excited to see what the future of these franchises hold. Anything Final Fantasy, I'm used.
Dude, 16 is so crazy.
And here's the thing: like I've seen some people it's like, oh no, that's too many Final Fantasy games coming out. It's like, bro,
do you see how many?
No, it's not.
They're all going to Game Pass, right?
Final Fantasy is in a unique situation when it comes to a series. Because every single game is completely different. Every single game has a different combat. Has different gameplay mechanics.
13 is
different
13
characters,
and 10
world.
are the only ones that actually followed off of each other, like they were actual sequels. 13 and 10, if I'm not mistaken.
Those 13
like
those third Lightning
Returns. They had sequels. No, he's talking about they had sequels.
10 did, 10 did, yeah.
10 had a sequel, and 13 had two sequels.
Yes.
Final Fantasy goes from one game to the next, and they're totally different.
Right.
Whereas 10 and 13 were like the only ones that I can think of
that
had a direct sequel.
That and also the compilation of Final Fantasy VII,
Final
which
Fantasy,
which has like Crisis Core, Dirge of Cerberus,
right?
The other games.
Dirge of Cerberus is pretty cool.
What's interesting is that when this rumor first came out, like when this rumor was there, some people were speculating that it was going to be the second part of the
I thought so too.
That's what a lot of people.
That's
not a brand new one.
Absolutely.
That's why this rumor is pretty crazy, like having another one, like another from Team Ninja, nonetheless.
Because Remake Part 2 is 100% going to be a PS5. I mean, we have all of it. It's still not on other platforms. They extended the exclusivity like another 6 months when Integrate comes out. And honestly, I think after those 6 months end, I think that Remake Part 1 is going to go to PC, but I don't think we'll see it on Xbox.
You know what?
I don't think we'll see it.
You're
on
right.
Xbox.
It's not even on PC
That's a
either.
very interesting take because I was going to say that would actually make sense for it to go on PC, but not another console. They can say, "Wow, that's interesting." I never really thought about that. That would actually
because everything is at right because they got remix exclusive, right? Blah blah blah. Now they got integrated with the DLC. The DLC is a PS5 exclusive. The DLC isn't even coming to the PS4 version. Which a lot of people are pissed off about that.
It's not.
But I don't care. I got a PS5. A lot of people,
Dude,
even if I didn't have a PS5, I wouldn't be mad at it. Also, Final Fantasy 14 was confirmed this year that is not coming to Xbox after they said it was coming to Xbox.
Yep.
So we're not seeing that game come to Xbox. So I highly doubt that we're gonna see remake come to Xbox anytime soon.
No.
If it does, it's probably gonna be much later.
Yeah, it's gonna be later.
Yeah, and it'll debut on Game Pass or whatever, and then be talking. Oh, I got take that, you Sony ponies. We finally got Final Fantasy remake 4 years later on Game Pass.
Here's a quick question though.
I'll play
like Dragon Quest 11.
Oh Jesus! Oh Yakuza's.
If Final Fantasy comes to Xbox, do you think it'll go to Game Pass day one?
Yeah, probably. Probably.
I mean,
that's the only way.
Why wouldn't it? Right.
It happened with Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 11 came to Xbox 3 years later, and it landed on Game Pass.
Well, see, what you have to realize too. The same thing goes with the Yakuza's. Is that the game? For that's why you didn't see those games on Xbox, because to them, to make the Japanese these type of games would not sell as what the worth of probably developing for it. But the thing with Game Pass does is that Game Pass takes the pressure off this game not selling too much. So guess who's paying for it though? Microsoft. That's coming out. They're paying for what they think it would probably sell on the console and compensating that by putting it in Game Pass. So Game Pass makes these games like the Yakuza's and all that other stuff make it more appealing for them to put these games in Game Pass. But guess what? They're not doing it now. They'll do it at the after they make their money on PlayStation.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was something I forgot who brought it up, but I remember hearing it on Porter Rock's podcast. He was quoting somebody else. I forgot who said it, but like whenever the Resident Evil sales figures came in and it was 80% on PlayStation and only 20% on Xbox. Somebody said that because of that, because the sales is so huge, that PlayStation can use that leverage, right? Like, so, for example, like they can go to Capcom, right? Which is rumored that Resident Evil 4 remake is going to be exclusive.
That's real. Wait, is that real? I saw that image.
Hold on, listen. They can go to Capcom and be like, look, our games are selling more than 80%, or your game is selling more than 80% on our hardware, and on Xbox is only selling 20%. So how about this? How about we pay you that 20% that you will get on Xbox and just make it exclusive for PlayStation?
Yep.
Or
Sony,
exclusive for a certain amount of time. Like give us a year or 6 months.
Yeah.
Which most of the time it's going to be a year.
And that's what people don't understand. Yeah. Like we were talking about the 2-to-1 and all this other stuff. If this install base continues to grow and the multiplats or these games seem to be just better attach rate. Remember, everybody kind of forgets that. Remember back in the 360 days, attach rate was the biggest thing. Like it was like, what is the attach rate with the console? You buy the console and you buy 4 or 5 games with that console. Like the attach rate between Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5. The funny thing is that if this attach rate grows because the install base is there and these games are just selling, Sony's just going to get exclusives by default, just like we were saying about the PlayStation 2 era. Yeah. A lot of those exclusive games were just because the PlayStation 2 was so dominant that it wasn't worth them to make an Xbox version. And that's why Game Pass gives them at least a window going, well, you could put it on our thing, maybe not day and date with like the PlayStation 5, but we'll get it. That's why I'm so frustrated with them, because Microsoft basically went all the way back to the Xbox OG, where remember GTA and all that stuff came out on PlayStation first, and Microsoft had to wait for it. And then in the 360 era, Peter Moore has to lift up his arm and go, guys, guess what? We're getting GTA day and date. And that was a big deal, day and date. Remember the one more thing? It was with Final Fantasy. It was that Final Fantasy 13 was going to be on Xbox. I remember the one more thing. Huge.
That was a huge, and I remember that too.
It wasn't exclusive, Chris, though. Chris, it wasn't exclusive.
Went crazy.
It wasn't exclusive. It was just a Me Too. Like, we're getting it too, guys. That was their announcement.
No, But it was
I don't mean
big
to cut-
because
hey, I don't
Final
mean to cut-
Fantasy
hold on,
was
hold on,
coming
hold
to
on.
Xbox.
I don't mean to cut y'all off, but I'm gonna have to dip out
Oh, go
early
ahead.
because my dog is sitting here looking at me, and she probably has to take a serious dump. So I don't want to
Oh,
get shit in my house.
oh,
So I'm
she
gonna
heard
have to
Game
leave
Pass.
early.
Frog, come on.
Hey,
We talk about
man.
Game Pass
She,
too much.
she,
That dog is
dude,
taking
she
shit.
heard Game Pass, and her digestive system said, "Holy shit!" Her food went through her digestive system faster than a guacamole sandwich goes through anybody's system.
Oh,
so
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to take my dog out. I'm gonna have to leave early. I'm sorry.
No problem, Frog, man.
Looking at me. Yeah, it was great having a conversation with you guys. Man, I know when E3 comes around, I know I'm gonna shit.
Just like his dog, he's gonna shit.
Look, hey, Microsoft better come with her. I'm shitting all over him.
The
But,
Frog,
hey,
I'm gonna time clip your rant. Don't worry, we're gonna do timestamps on here.
Oh my
But
God,
you know, one
man.
of the thing. But Frog, thank you again for coming on.
Yeah,
and
I
you know,
appreciate it.
tell
Hey,
everybody, Frog, tell
I
everybody where they can
appreciate
find you
man.
too. We have over 80
Hey,
people
man,
watching. Hit that like button and
So,
subscribe.
You guys want to find
Have a
me?
good one.
My crew is the WYB crew. I roll with them. That's who you subscribe. They will watch.
Oh, thank you. There they are.
They love listening. You know, I will. I'm usually streaming Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays with WYB crew. So,
Well, thank you again. Yep. Go sub over there.
Yeah. But hey, I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys next week. I'm out. Peace.
Hey, Frog, thank you. So yeah, well, Chris, the last thing I want to we'll just to say, we're wrapping this up, but like that was a big deal that they were getting it day and date from Sony. Like that was huge. I remember.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with Metal Gear Solid 5. It was announced at the Xbox One showcase. They had Kojima come out and they said Metal Gear Solid is finally coming to the Xbox. That was a big deal. I remember.
Let me see if I can find
the same thing.
E3 announcement. Just before we go, I want to so this where is this? This at the end of here it is. So yeah, 2008. I'm just gonna play it here at the end and listen. This is the one more thing and watch the reaction. This is the big deal. It wasn't exclusive. It was the fact that Xbox was getting a Final Fantasy game. This is where we mean where now what Chris is mentioning about Final Fantasy 16. I think it's gonna be like one of the first Final Fantasy games besides 14 that is just only on PlayStation. Well, for a time, it's exclusive. This is like the first time that a Final Fantasy game is going to come out besides 7 Remake. Shit, a second. Jesus Christ. There's like 3.
No,
they go backwards.
and
this
besides
one.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well,
yes.
11 became
Dude, and
12,
this rumored
like,
one from Tecmo.
A lot of the Final Fantasy games were already exclusive on PlayStation. It wasn't until 13
there it is.
Became multi-plat. 13, 1, 2, and 3, and then Final Fantasy 15 is multi-plat. And then look what happened.
There it is.
7
I'm playing it right now.
Exclusive, and 16 is back to being exclusive.
Yep, there it is.
Take a look.
Donnie D. Wait a second. Donnie D on stage. Oh, wait, I'm not even sharing it. Shit. Here we go. Donnie D on stage. This is 2008. Here we go. Watch. E3.
Take a look at this movie.
Take a look at this movie, he says. Nobody knew. They're like, what's this? This shit's so old that it the max res is 240p. Take a watch this movie. That's what he said. This is Final Fantasy 13 announced for Xbox. Just hear the uproar. Like, this was huge. Where is the... Did they get to where it is? It is a movie. It's like 5 minutes. They're probably gonna get me with the copyright on this trash. I just want to get the crowd's reaction. When did they say it? Jeez, it was a movie. That's Cloud. Here it is.
at long last, the day we have all been waiting for has arrived. And it gives me great pleasure to be able to unveil this to you today. An Xbox 360 version of Final Fantasy XIII, the latest in the Final Fantasy series, which has seen more than 85 million units shipped worldwide, is planned for release. We believe that releasing an Xbox 360 version of Final Fantasy XIII will allow us to provide a game
Daddy
with
D.
more fans in the two regions of North America and Europe, and are currently working hard on its development. Last of all, I'd like to thank Dan for giving me the opportunity to make this presentation. And of course, also all of you for your kind attention and for your continued support of Square Enix. Thank you.
Donnie D making the deals. Let's get that little Donnie D dance.
Wow.
Wait,
That's just incredible. Thank you, Wada-san, for joining us today. Final Fantasy XIII is an astonishing addition to our growing array of RPG titles, and we couldn't wait to share the news with you today. Final Fantasies joins a long list of former PlayStation franchises that are finding a new home on Xbox 360. It happened with Madden and Guitar Hero, it's happening now with Grand Theft Auto and Resident Evil, and it will happen with Final Fantasy.
See? What did you say it again?
It happened with Madden.
Wait a second.
A long list of former PlayStation franchises that are finding a new home on Xbox 360.
Wait, Donnie D, what did you say?
13 is an astounding.
Do you hear that? I don't know if Chris heard that. Do you hear what he says?
I listen to the playback, but
Oh, okay. So hear what he says, right? Final Fantasy is a long list of PlayStation exclusives that are finding their home on the 360.
To our growing array of RPG titles.
Let's see here.
And we couldn't wait to share the news with you today.
Madden and Guitar Hero.
Final Fantasies joins a long list of former PlayStation franchises that are finding a new home on
PlayStation
Xbox
franchises.
360. It happened with Madden and Guitar Hero.
Madden, Guitar
it's
Hero.
Happening now with Grand Theft Auto and Resident Evil.
GTA, Resident Evil.
And it will happen with Final Fantasy.
And Final Fantasy. That was the news, man. The fact that Xbox established themselves to get these former PlayStation franchises onto their platform. Right? And now you're looking at Sony taking those shits back.
Right.
Like,
yeah. Pretty much.
So Curtis, did you hear? Oh, Curtis said, what did he miss? I don't know if he's talking about the podcast or he's talking about that last thing. But yeah, but you got to understand. So that's why being an Xbox, I lived through this, right? I'm an Xbox fan. I through this, right? But these were big deals. As an Xbox fan who went to the Xbox OG, had a 360, this was a testament that Microsoft was really in this because it got games that there were Sony franchises on their platform. They weren't exclusive. They weren't. There was no exclusivity. The fact that it was just there.
Right. All of the previous PlayStation exclusives were now making their way to Xbox. On top of Xbox having huge third-party first-party games, but huge third-party exclusives like Bioshock, Mass Effect. Oblivion, and stuff like that. So
I know it was firing on all cylinders. That's why
it was amazing.
And guess how many studios do they own? I don't even know. I didn't give a shit.
They had like 7 or 8. I don't.
Did you give a shit? I didn't even know. Did Donnie D come out on stage and say we got 23 studios and then leave and show a bunch of icons and say, hey, enjoy E3?
I remember those first 3 years of the 360 was like fucking amazing. Especially when Call of Duty came out and everybody was
that
on
too.
No, I mean Call of Duty was on PS3.
Well, they got
everybody
the
played on
maps.
Xbox. Yeah, they had the maps first, and then but also Xbox Live was just at that time was just so much superior. You know what I mean? The PSN and all that shit. So
No, it's funny. Somebody in the comments section says this. From 2 years ago, they go, on retrospect, losing most of the third-party exclusives like Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry, Dragon Quest, Metal Gear, and many others was important to Sony. thanks to so many exclusive games that weren't made by Sony moving to Xbox. But Sony invested in because of that, Sony invested in their own exclusives like Uncharted and Last of Us. That's what he says. Somebody wrote that in the comments. So that was interesting.
Well, the thing with I mean,
I don't think so.
Really
I think
but you can't really say Metal Gear because Metal Gear Solid 4 was an exclusive on PS3, and that came out in 2008, and so it was just like
it just was a big deal, dude. It was a big deal for the inclusion.
Yeah. They lost a lot of third-party, exclusive deals, at the time, but then now I think they're going back to that. I think they're really going back to like they're gonna, they have 25 PlayStation Studio games exclusive, but that's not including the third party. Somebody who works at Sony, I forgot what his name was, but on Twitter he said, just wait until when they announced the whole 25 PlayStation exclusive right from their studios or whatever. He said, just wait until you see what our third-party partners are cooking up as far as like exclusive or whatnot.
And that's what I mean. Like it's just insane that they're getting their stuff back, plus they're making new stuff. So it's like the best of both worlds. Plus, on top of that, you got all the VR too. That too, you're gonna have a whole bunch of new games from that.
I believe that if there's a Metal Gear Solid remake, that's gonna be exclusive to the PS5.
They're gonna get back their shit, man.
I believe if there's a Silent Hill reboot, that's going to be exclusive to the PS5 because that's just Sony's coming in fucking.
Dude, Curtis says Sony's taking back what was stolen.
Exactly.
And that's the point where you're sitting here, and I know some Xbox fans would be like, whatever, but you got to see if you watch the pedigree of how Microsoft got themselves established, and that was a big deal. I'm so glad. I didn't even realize that he said that at the end. I just remember it was such a big deal for Xbox to get Final Fantasy, since we're speaking about Final Fantasy. The fact that it wasn't that Xbox got new games. They just were taking Sony's franchises and putting them on an Xbox. And they won a lot of that, too, by being out a year earlier and having that install base of 10 million or so by the time the PS3 launched. Microsoft was already established on there because they had that year jump. So when you sit here and look at 2-to-1 sales for an Xbox, you can be like, well, it's different now. Xbox is PC. It's bullshit. You know what? The thing is that even if the game goes to PC, Xbox still, the console itself is not like, if it still does not sell, people are not going to make games for it. It's just going to get the ports from PC and ports from PlayStation. That's what happens when you're the last fiddle. You know what I mean? When you're the bottom of the fiddle, it's like, I put that shit to Xbox. Then you're sitting there with 12 flops in your hand going like, well, why is nobody maximizing my potential? Lazy devs. The reason why is because your console is not market share. Your console's not selling. So why would a dev waste their time? And like what Chris was saying, and he was saying what Porter Rock was saying, like if you look at the dichotomy between these games selling, even Ubisoft, 40 or 30% of their games sold on a PlayStation, more on the highest one. They got
Near Replicant
at
the UK, 89% on PlayStation, 11% on Xbox.
Yeah, when do you think the next one's coming out, dude? 11%.
And matter of fact, games are going to start selling less on Xbox because of Game Pass.
And Game Pass. You're right.
Yes, so these third-party games that come out and that aren't on Game Pass, they're going to start selling less because people are just going to say, well, I'll just wait for Game Pass.
Exactly. And that's the other problem is that Game Pass,
they created that mentality.
Future, it's going to condition people. And it's that, and like I always said, how they did the whole MLB and the other one was very disruptive. The fact is they make you kind of question, should I pre-order this? Maybe it'll be in Game Pass. Like Biomutant. I thought Biomutant, I was trying to find my podcast where I said Biomutant would have been great for Game Pass. I didn't know the Metacritic was going to be a Game Pass number, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, I said Xbox should. I said Microsoft should buy them because they fit right in.
Yeah, I know. It's so hilarious because I was trying to find that clip for tonight where I was like, I thought Biomutant would have been a perfect game for Game Pass. And this is before I saw Metacritic. When I saw it, I was like, oh shit, it is. But I was like, because that was a game I thought that they would put in there because it's a new IP. It's a game from a small studio that they could kind of get the ground running. And that's the reason why I thought it was. But now when I see that it's getting the rating that it is, and Phil Spencer's probably like licking his lips right now, like a goddamn dog looking at a friggin' steak in a window going, 68, new IP, let's go. Like he's ready to rock, man. Phil Spencer salivating
And Sony-
right now. He saw a 68.
And one thing that Sony has an advantage is obviously since they have, strong Japanese ties. Obviously, they're a Japanese company, even though they're more worldwide now, right? Like a more global brand now.
Yeah.
But they still have the roots, the Japanese roots. So they still have all the major publishers that they have business relationships with that they know and stuff like that, like Square Enix and Capcom, Bandai Namco and stuff like that. Even though Bandai Namco kind of leans a little bit more towards Xbox.
Well,
when it comes
recently,
to marketing.
yeah.
Yeah, well, most of the games, even from the 360, I remember the Tales of Vesperia, that was exclusive, a timed exclusive when it came out, So even with the 360, but here's the thing, like these major Japanese publishers, like the Square Enix or whatever, at one point during the end of the PS3 era and the beginning of PS4, they were like all fucked up. Like Capcom was real fucked up. Square Enix
They
was fucking
were.
up,
Well, you remember
right?
Capcom made
But
exclusives for Xbox. Remember Lost
Yeah,
Planet, Dead Rising. Those were exclusive Xbox franchises from Capcom.
Now they're making a big comeback, and they're doing a lot. To me, like Square Enix and Capcom. I mean, other than Sony, Square Enix and Capcom, they're like the best third-party publisher right now. You know what I mean? In my opinion,
they're making pretty good stuff.
They're making the best games as far as third-party, better than Ubisoft games, better than EA games, better than Activision. In my opinion, right? It was all subjective, but in my opinion, so it's like the big Japanese publishers are making a huge comeback, and their games are getting better, and they're producing a lot more quality.
Yeah.
While the Western developers have been kind of falling off, and they've been kind of going more of the free to play, like
service
Ubisoft, right?
shit, Bethesda,
service shit.
Fallout 76.
Yeah, and we're starting to see the game's quality kind of decline because of that from their side. So
it's interesting. Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's a really good point, because it's definitely like Capcom was kind of struggling out there and stuff, and also too how the success they saw from the Resident Evil remakes as well, at least 2.
Yeah,
that
Resident Evil 7, and then
and 7 was a huge risk.
But when it really fucking took off is when Monster Hunter World came out.
Yes,
Monster Hunter World
yes.
That shit's like at 20 million sold right now.
Dude, I didn't even know, like Monster Hunter, but I heard about it, and I always thought like every time I played Lost Planet, people were like, oh, this has like legacy findings of Monster Hunter, because you find these big beasts and there's like phases and shit, and that's what got me interested in Monster Hunter.
I hope they do another Lost Planet, man.
I'm gonna tell
Lost Planet 2?
Oh shit, Chris. Yo, man, that's something I'm gonna tell you something, Chris, right? This is one of my huge gaming memories. Hey, guys, hit that like button and everything. We're going to be wrapping this up. But I want to say one of my huge gaming memories was the co-op in Lost Planet 2. Yes. And I was playing, right? And I didn't realize that me and my teammate and I could both combo Ultra. And we were fighting this friggin' big-ass spider guy. And I shot the beam up in the sky. He did his thing, and we did this thing where this meteor came down and just lit up the whole. It was the most intense explosion. I was screaming like a little bitch, going, "Ow!" I was just so hyped up. I was like, everything. The screen just like went nuclear. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, we did this crazy move that I didn't even know you can do, because we both did our ultimates, and I didn't even know you can combine them. And like, I put my sword in the sky, and he like charged it, and I just brought down this meteor thing. And I was like, holy shit. It was one of the most incredible co-op moments I friggin' ever had. It was crazy. And that was Lost Planet 2. I love that shit. Lost Planet was awesome. I loved the first 2, right? I don't think 3 wasn't that good. I didn't like 3 wasn't. Did they do a 3? Yeah, they did 3, right? Chris, did they do a 3? You there? Or you left?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, did they do a 3? They did 3, right? Lost Planet?
I only think they did 2,
check.
if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let me look it up.
I think they did Lost Planet 3, but it wasn't in the snow. And that's where it was.
Oh, they did do a Lost Planet 3.
Yeah, Lost Planet 3 wasn't good. No.
Yeah, it has a 61 on Metacritic.
Yeah, no. Oh, shit, Game Pass. It wasn't Game Pass? But yeah, no, Lost Planet 1 was great. 2 was friggin' lit, man. The co-op.
Yeah, two was the best one.
And the multiplayer, I love Let's play multiplayer with the clip and the fact that you could jump into those mechs, because you were in these mechs and you were fighting these big ass like things. You gotta remember back in the 360, Jesus, like this was incredible. But man, Lost Planet 1 and 2, I love those.
It was almost like Returnal.
Yes, it was. You know what?
Almost like
It's
Returnal.
funny. Yeah, it was almost like Returnal. Yeah, and
it's similar. Like you haven't been to this level, but
the snow. There's like a biome that's in the snow.
Yeah, the snow one, the ice one, which it's not spoiled because it's been in trailers. But that when I first got to one, that reminded me of Lost Planet.
You're right. It does. Like with those kind of, and because they did have those crazy type of enemies that would just shoot. Like, yeah. They didn't do the bullet storm shit, but they had like the weak spots, and they were just like these biggest. And it was such a cool concept because you're in the snow, and there are these thermal pockets, and basically those are the weak points. So which is so cool.
And not only that, it's like. Cool. The weather conditions will work against you. Like if you were in the snow for too long, like it would start hurting you. Like you would have to go inside and kind of get a cool down or whatever. You don't remember that on
yes.
It had those survival
stuff. Like you can't stay in the cold too long. You had to like get heat pockets and stuff like that. You couldn't just walk around in the snow. And they had that deforming snow too. Like oh man. Dude, those are some awesome times. Like, Lost Planet was a cool IP, and that was exclusive. 360 is exclusive. They got that shit.
Was it? Didn't it?
The first one was. I think the second one wasn't. The first one was. The first one, Lost Planet, was exclusive. Lost Planet and Dead Rising were Xbox exclusives.
Yeah, they were Xbox exclusive because at the time Xbox 360 was killing it. But I figured Capcom probably thought that. Because these are more Western style, like zombies and shooting shit, like they will probably do better on the
2 came out to the PS3
shooters or whatever. But I mean that really wasn't the case back then. So
Lost Planet was only on. I think eventually came to the other ones. It was developed by Spark Unlimited. What the hell did they make? Let's see, Spark Unlimited. Yeah. They made. Oh Jesus. They made Yobai, Ninja Gaiden Z. Oh, that game's pretty good. The Yiba.
Oh, I haven't played that one.
Yeah, I haven't played that one. They played that. The Lost Planet 3 they made. They did that. Legendary. Oh my God, was that for the movie? Oh no, what the hell, Legendary?
You know what? Somebody said Lost Planet was on PS3, but here's the thing: like Xbox, the brand Xbox, and the marketing for Xbox was so strong that that I thought Lost Planet was just an exclusive. Even if it came to PS3,
it launched. Back then. Dom, like it launched. He retracted, but it launched. I think on the Xbox. I remember them being shown off as 2 Capcom exclusives for the 360, and whether they were exclusives by that 1 year of exclusivity, it did eventually come to the PS3. I think there was a timed exclusive, basically, maybe because the 360 was out earlier.
Effect. Right, because the Mass Effect came in like a year later.
Yeah, they got everything. 1 year, man. Yeah, they got everything. Because I remember, like, let me see, Lost Planet. Let me see.
Time exclusive works, bro. Time exclusive is
they
extremely effective, and that's what Sony is doing. It's like Sony don't care the time to whatever, right? Because one, it's cheaper for them to do it rather than just buy. Like they don't have to buy Square Enix. They don't need to. Like why would they spend? Potentially 10, 12 billion, however Square Enix is, right? Billions of dollars. You know what I mean? But it's like, if they can spend way less and still have big exclusive games from them. Like, the only time that I can see that Sony will want to buy Square Enix is if they think that Microsoft is looking to buy them.
Yeah.
If they get a whim that Microsoft is going to buy Square Enix, I think Sony will bite the bullet and say, "Fuck it, we'll eat this shit up."
God, I remember that.
We can't lose Final Fantasy games on the PlayStation. We can't lose that. We can't lose these other Square Enix games. You know what I mean? That do very well on PlayStation and shit like that. That's the only time I can see Sony purchases Square Enix. But unless that happens, they don't have to buy Square Enix. They're doing they can get all of these deals and timed exclusive or whatever. Sometimes it's timed exclusive to where it just comes on PC later and doesn't even come to Xbox.
Yeah, you want to know what? It Lost Planet. When did the PlayStation 3 launch? Was it like November 2016?
The PS3? No, 2006.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, yeah, November
Not
2006.
2016.
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. November 2006.
Yeah, 2006.
November,
Yeah.
right?
The 360 was
2005.
5.
Okay, so that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Lost Planet came out in March of 2006. I was looking at 16. So it came out. Oh, I'm sorry. It came out in. Wait a second. It shipped. So this is what it says. Lost Planet received mixed reviews on the PS3 and PC, but more positive reception for the 360 version, which was the original lead platform. So I guess they came out at the same time. I always thought Lost Planet was came out exclusively. I don't know. I guess not. Oh, you know what? The Colonies edition of the Extreme was for the 360 and PC with new multiplayer maps. There was something exclusive. There it was. It's the Colonies edition. They had the new multiplayer maps and a human versus Acrid multiplayer mode.
That Pragmata game might be some type of successor to Lost Planet.
Oh yeah, baby.
Remember Pragmata from Capcom?
Yeah.
That new IP that they announced. I'm interested to see what they do with that.
Yeah, I apologize. It came out as so it did come out as all three of them. So it wasn't I always thought it was exclusive, but I guess not. I just think it was just a new IP from Capcom, which again, Capcom really never made games for Xbox. So maybe as an Xbox, I was like, oh my god, Capcom's making games for Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, no, they supported.
There were two new IPs. That was the
heavily.
thing. Yeah.
But not only that, it's like they supported that. Street Fighter, 4 came to Xbox, right? And that was huge.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Let me see. I want to say just now we're going back memory alley.
Like the 360 was heavily supported
dude.
by Japanese companies, but then now we've seen how the Xbox One and that fan base is now. They barely support the game. Some people get mad when you say that, but that's factually true. They don't. They barely buy the games. They don't buy a lot of Japanese games. I understand there's Xbox fans out there that do buy these games and will buy these games full price of day one, but y'all are in the very small minority.
Yeah.
Factually, Xbox players don't buy a lot of fucking games.
Chris, know what else was interesting too is that not even were they getting games like Capcom. And I apologize if it was it came out at the same time, but yeah, Lost Planet was a new IP from Capcom. So was Dead Rising, and Xbox got those, which was the whole point of this
Dead
conversation.
Rising was exclusive too.
Yes, and that was the whole point of it. It was the conversation is that Microsoft got that they were getting the clout from the Japanese. Yeah, they even made what is that? They made Blue Dragon. They made
Blue Dragon was exclusive from Miss Walker, which was the ex Final Fantasy dev.
Lost Odyssey.
Lost Odyssey was exclusive. Tales of
they had Nier
exclusive. Namco was exclusive.
Was it Nier exclusive? Nier was a Xbox exclusive, wasn't it? The first Nier.
No. It came on PS3. No, because the Japanese version. It was a PS.
I heard that PS3. Nier was a. I heard what was else of that? I thought the first one. Here it is.
No.
Platinum Games.
Nier was on the PS3.
It was on it day and date. They came out together. Here it is. Nier. Let me see. Is that a different Nier? No, it's the same Nier. Here's the PS3
the American version was Nier Gestalt.
Okay.
That was the American version, and it came out for PlayStation 3 and the 360 in April.
360, here it is.
Yeah, it came out on both.
Yeah.
At the day and date.
It says Nier came out April 22nd, 2010. Yes, it was on both of them. That's why Nier Automata they didn't get. They got the second one, Replicant, right? And Nier Automata was a time exclusive on PlayStation 4.
No, Nier Automata was a time exclusive, but it did
go to Xbox eventually, and then they said Nier Replicant. Yeah,
and that's because of Square Enix that it came to Xbox. Because if it wasn't for Square Enix, Platinum Games would have been like fuck Xbox, like they've been saying, and wouldn't have put that shit on there. Platinum Games been shitting on Xbox.
But dude, it was such the whole point of this thing is it just Microsoft did when they talk about a big deal that Phil flew to Japan and took a shit at Sega headquarters. The fact is that Microsoft did build its 360 with a focus on the Japanese audience and trying to bring that fan base from Sony and those games at least.
And they did a great job with the support, but they still didn't get supported by the Japanese audience.
Well, then I
You
think
know?
they blew. I understand, but the thing is, they made an attempt, and even the shape of
Yeah,
the
they made an
console
attempt.
was a
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing is, though, is I think they blew all that goodwill and everything that they earned when they launched the one, and it just was huge, and they lost that Japanese focus, and they're trying to get some of it back. But the thing is that I think they're not. I think you fool me once, like. I think that, and now the install base, back then you got to realize too that 360 was out there a year before the PlayStation, and they got that a lot of clout and that whole early development from the being the lead platform for development, and then the cell processor came out, and everybody was kind of struggling with that. So Microsoft kind of bought the early years of the generation. That's why I understand gaming development is probably different right now, but when you have a platform that is selling at such a rate than the other one, who are they going to develop for first, and who are they going to port that shit over to? So that's why maybe you're looking at a PlayStation 5 game, a real PlayStation 5 game, getting a better performance. That could be the system itself, but also could be that they built it first from there and then try running it on the Xbox, and maybe they're not taking extra advantage of that power because they're just like, well, how many people are going to really appreciate this? Well, that's going to be another 1 month of dev time or 2 weeks of dev time to do this. And they're like, no, cut a cost. We don't need that 2 weeks. Ship it. It works fine on both of them. And then therefore the Xbox doesn't get that extra oomph of that extra teraflops. You don't know.
Yeah,
but
they need
market share, dude. Yeah, exactly.
They need
Captain.
that Japanese support because that's a side of developers that you're not getting it.
Yeah.
Like for example, like if Resident Evil 4 remake, if the rumors are true and that is a PlayStation 5 exclusive, it's like,
oh my god,
you gotta understand, it's like, like the thing with Japanese games, right? Like the Japanese people they're so diverse, right? That they do Western style games better than Western developers.
Dude,
like Metal Gear Solid is heavily Western themed, and it has some of the best shooting mechanics and stealth mechanics and all that. But that's made by Japanese developers. Same thing with Resident Evil, right? Zombies, very American Western themes, but it's made by Japanese people. You know what I mean? Dark Souls, very medieval Western RPG themes, but it's made by Japanese people, and they're making the best RPG games, and Capcom's making the best, zombie games and stuff like that.
And we
it's
live
like,
in
it seems
such
like
a
lot
global
of the Western developers.
Yeah, and we
are
and you know
falling
what?
off.
And know what else?
Except
too?
Sony developers.
Well,
except the Western developers on Sony's side.
But know what else is
They
too
still
is
got
that
it.
we're exposed to kind of with the internet and everything like that. It is not fragmented like it was, where you see Japanese text, you're like, oh my god, what is that? That's so foreign to me. Now you could see that now because with the internet and with our globalization, everybody like this kind of impact, like you could get access to anything right now, and by having that kind of having that support international and having that stuff, you might have people living in the West that love Japanese games and they'll have to import everything. But guess what? Now those games are coming to they got rid of all that import stuff, all that all the regionalization. Yeah, the regional.
Yeah.
So like the thing is that the regionalizations, like they really, the thing is that the whole point of the conversation was that Microsoft did make a big clout, and it's funny how they are Phil, I think, is trying to get back some of that stuff, and I think Game Pass is gonna have to be their key, because what Chris is saying is that these games might not warrant a develop, because remember, time is money. And if they're like, this game has to sell this much for it to be worth it for us to put this much investment into developing for Xbox, and if they're like,
Xbox might pay that fee.
Yeah, or that's the other thing. Xbox might pay it for you, because why all of Yakuza show up in Game Pass all of a sudden? And everybody's loving your Yakuzas. Well, Yakuza was on PlayStation for friggin' 10 years. Before that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now all of a sudden it's in Game Pass. Well,
I'm actually pissed off as Sega for what they did with Yakuza 7 for that whole
the
update, the Xbox Series X first, and then the play. I'm like, bro, I was like,
Phil took an extra shit at headquarters
and shit like that. Microsoft and Sega are buddies, but it's still kind of fucked up because we're at the seventh mainline Yakuza games, but there's way more than 7. There's like a bunch of little spin-offs or whatever.
Yeah.
But as a franchise that started on the PS2, we have like 10 to 15 games spanning 3 or 4 generations, And guess what? They were all exclusive to PlayStation. So who was the one that was buying and supporting your games the most? It was PlayStation players. PlayStation players
It was weird
kept that team alive, afloat, enough for them to make money off of these Yakuza games, to keep coming out with the Yakuza games every 2 years, over and over and over again. And for them,
and then they remade them too.
Yeah.
Then they remade them.
Yeah, exactly. Kiwami 1, Kiwami 2 are remakes. Yeah,
it's crazy, and that's the thing. Like, it's just, and I think that it's funny how to get stuff day and date. That's why when you see the Final Fantasy, and that's still how we got into this conversation, it's like when you see the Final Fantasy 16 going exclusive, you look at how much, like, people are like, whatever, it's Final Fantasy. The thing, well, even the 7 remaster, whatever. The thing is that, like, those were big, important points of Xbox's history to get those games day and date from Sony, because they were considered Sony franchises. And that's why we point out here is, like,
but those games
how do we say that Phil is better than Donnie D? Phil, like, why? Like, Phil is losing those games back to Sony, and Donnie D was bringing them to Xbox. It's just interesting. Like, like, how is Sony getting all these Final Fantasy exclusives and Phil's not doing it? It's because the install base is not there. And it's just, and or if Microsoft has to buy it, pay the difference or put it in Game Pass. And this is the pivot that I'm not a fan of what Xbox is going. I don't like this Game Pass is the future. I think Game Pass is great for what it should be, is just an accessory to get more games and play games in between the big hits. I don't think Game Pass is the future. I don't want it to be the future, because I don't want games to devolve into service-based games that I have to pay extra, and because I get the game up front for free, give me that little taste, or give it to me in my subscription, and then you hit me on the back end.
I think Game Pass is here to stay.
Oh, it is.
But I don't see a future where we're getting a lot of major, huge third-party games in their day one. We're gonna get a few, obviously, because MLB, Outriders. There's gonna be a few here and there, but don't expect the next Call of Duty to be on Game Pass day one. Don't expect, possibly Assassin's.
No, they're all gonna launch their own passes. Call of Duty is gonna launch its own pass.
That would be huge.
It'd be Call of Duty pass.
It still wouldn't matter. Like, it's not like a lot of people just don't care that much for Xbox.
People don't want to subscribe for their games. Like, like my son was playing this word game on the phone, and I'm playing it, and it's a free download, and we're playing it, and I'm like, what the hell's this? And he's like, oh, that's an ad. And then you just got to watch and these ads are so friggin' invasive that you just got to, it fills up your whole screen, and you got to wait for this little X to show up in the corner, and you hit the X. It's because you got the game for free. I would like, hey, you know what? Let me just pay for this word game. Let me pay this game for $5, and then you just play it. But no, you got to watch like this invasive ad that you don't even, they fool you to think that it's still another game. And you're just like, this is the kind of shit where Game Pass is going to cheapen gaming. It's going to, I think it does allow for flexibility and risk, and that's good for some indie devs and stuff like that. But I think the games that we want to show, especially in the beginning of a generation and new hardware and new power, those big budget games that you're going to see, they're not going to be the traditional games that you're going to find in Game Pass. It's going to bring those games down or add microtransactions or day one guns and we'll trickle out content to you over time. I don't want that shit. I want to play a game for the full vision of what it is. I don't want to pay or subscribe and then get the game fed to me over 6 months. I don't I'm going to lose interest in that, and that's their job. Look how well that episodic model worked. Ask Telltale how episodic works.
Mm-hmm.
If you give me a game, the part of the game in the beginning of the month in December, how do you hold that interest? That they basically got rid of map packs for that reason, because people bought the first one and they were their interest died off by map pack 2 and 3, and that the install base dissolved. Episodic content has to be done right. Episodic content has to come out in a good cadence in order to keep people strung along. So, that whole subscription model. Everybody thought games are going to be all episodic now. That's the new thing. Episodic games. Well, Telltale's gone. Tell me how episodic worked, because they couldn't get their games out. Maybe that's just their fault, but they bought big IP. They did big brands, and they just trickled out these games, but the episodes weren't on the cadence. They were kind of like 3 months, the 1 month. Like, they really couldn't do it, and, it's hard. And the thing is that I do like the idea of seeing Ratchet and Clank and knowing when I buy that game, all that I'm seeing is going to be there. Not that you're showing me stuff that, well, this is our plan for the future. No, this is the game, and I can experience the full vision of it. Not going to the forums and going, well, what are you going to add next month? Like, I think you should add, infection mode or something like that. Dude, this is the game. And we need to still have that stuff. I don't want it all to devolve into subscriptions, free-to-play mobile model. So that's why I don't think Game Pass is the future. Game Pass is good for what it is, and it actually needs to prove better, because the whole value of Game Pass is basically Microsoft first-party content, which now everybody, 2 years from now. The whole reason why everybody talks about Game Pass is because of the day one exclusives. And that's the only thing that's not there in the last and that's not coming in the next. You got Halo Infinite, and then it's like you count them on your finger. But that's the reason why people are like, why you subscribe to Game Pass? For the day one Xbox exclusives. Oh, really? Which ones? Halo's coming later this year.
The one that's coming out 5 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, Fable. I can't wait for Fable. Oh, so you're gonna pay $15 a month. And maybe an increase in another 2 years.
For the next 3 years.
For the next 3 years,
$15 a month,
you're funding
right?
Fable,
which is $180 times 3.
Yeah, right. Like 500. You can buy
Yeah.
and then they're gonna try to sell you another console, the Xbox Double X, the Triple X, and it's just like, why are you paying now for games in the future? That's what I don't understand. So why do I need? And that's why sometimes you got to get Game Pass.
I couldn't do it, man. I can't do it, man.
No,
I can't do it.
I call it hashtag peekaboo gaming. I jump on, I'll play what you got, and then I jump off. I'm not sitting here giving you $15 a month until Halo comes out. Fuck that. You're gonna get my $15 when Halo comes out. Actually, I'm not even gonna give you $15.